What up, SNA Assassinators? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another video, and it's Wednesday night, and you know what that means, and it is, yep, you guessed it, AEW Dynamite night, and we're going to be talking about the review of it on November 13th, 2024, and some of you Assassinators like, Austin, why did you just sound like Excalibur? Well, I thought I might add something special onto the podcast, just trying to make it fresh and have some new elements into it, and not be just generic usual things that I say in the catchphrase. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about what exactly went down, and man, this Dynamite was absolutely interestingly great. Yeah, like it again, they were building more matches up. Like we will be, we have one match that's scheduled for the pay-per-view premium event, one singles match to be the exact. And we also got plenty of more what they call development onto the rivalries. It's going to be scheduled on AEW Full Gear, which I cannot wait to see. And then we also have and then we got some awful things that happen on segments, like which we're going to be talking about later on backstage, including with the Unmarkable being involved into these type of particular segments. But yeah, without all aside, like I'm gonna get started off with the patriarch Christian heading out to the ring because he has a tag team match teaming with Hangman Adam Page against my boys, them Bang Bang Games. Like hopefully Jay White does not say that to Renee Paquette ever again because she's because who wants to say that to her? Who wants to do the Bang Bang Gang with her? And also, secondly, like she's married to that delusional John Moxley that's been drinking that Cincinnati dirty poison mind control and water. But anyways, let's move on. Let's get into I'll say the blue ribbon match of the night. I guess you could say fourth place spot. I was thinking about giving it the fifth place, but I'll say but the one match that I thought was probably going to get the blue ribbon, like didn't really follow through, and plus it was not like a feud match rather than like just the throwaway singles match, like which I don't say not much of a throwaway. It was very entertaining, and I figured they did a very successful job, like into their performance, and I hope that they do have a part two down the line, like one another in another one-on-one match, but with higher stakes on the line, I guess you could say. But let's get into the first match of the night, like. I also want to say that the two last matches definitely tying with the Golden Trophy Award of the night. But without any further delays, let's get into the first match, as I was saying, which started off, I believe, with Juice Robinson and I know it was Jay White and Christian Cage, with him getting the offense in, just striking away onto the man above, insulting other wrestlers as deceased fathers. And this is where then we got Jay White tags in Juice Robinson. This is where then Juice Robinson, here, come on, Christian. And then he's like, I'm just your buddy. And then this is where then Christian Cage is like, no, we haven't hang out in the same place ever in our lives. So how dare you call me your best friend if we never go to the same social clubs or even hang out in the mutual friends, or have the exact same mutual friends on social media. And that's where he started hitting some right hands to the face onto Juice Robinson, threw him right to the right side. This is where then Juice dodges out of his clothesline, started hitting some bionic punches, like if he was the modern day Dusty Rhodes, like boom, boom, boom. And that's where he just started doing the same, like jabbing onto Hangman Adam Page when he tried to get involved inside the ring. And I was like, mind your damn business, cowboy sugar honey iced tea. And this is where then we got Christian Cage trying to get him with the reverse DDT, which is his signature move. Actually, he hit a neck breaker, a knee neck breaker. This is where Hangman Adam Page game starts stomping him because he don't give no flubs about damaging his opponents as much as more Jey Uso used to not give a care what the OTC used to say. But this is where we got Hangman Adam Page then went onto the outside, and the right side is where we got Christian Cage then Jay. I mean, Juice Robinson right into the outside with Nick Wayne and Shayna Wayne and Kip Sabian were mocking and trash talking onto Juice Robinson with Shayna Wayne threatening to mace him again, which that should be a crime in professional wrestling. In fact, that should be a crime in real life as well. But this is where we got Nick Wayne punt kicks Juice Robinson right into the gut when the referee was not looking. This is where Jay White was like, I'm not going to take this bull sugar honey iced tea. This is where the referee's like, no, like, stay right into your corner. This is where Christian Cage's like, all right, Hangman, bring him into the ring. This is where that's exactly what the cowboy that called himself Sugar Honey Iced Tea, exactly what he did. This is where then then Juice Robinson gets snap-married by Christian Cage until he got back up. Until he got him back up. I meant to say Christian Cage did. This is where he threw him right into the bottom right side. And some repeated knife edge chops, which I think he got about the third place spot onto Gunther's envy list. Considering this won't be the first. This wasn't the last time we did see an AEW wrestler did that and got into the ring general's list, which he's still waiting for the time. When he does finally get to meet him inside the square circle, let's hope it'll be soon. You're not trying to wish death upon these wrestlers on the other this company right here, but just saying, just for being a wrestling mark and want to see dream matches, but this is where we got Hangman on Page and hit some power slams, and this is where he tried to pin Juice, but this is where Juice kicks out at 2.3. This is where we got Christian Cage get tagged. This is where he started taunting Juice Robinson and even man, we do like a submission lock, but this is where we got. This is where Juice Robinson, no, I'm not surrendering. This is where Christian Cage threw him on the outside. This is where the referee was distracted with him. This is where Nick Wayne tossed him right into the upper right corner on the ringside area. This is where Nick Wayne was about to hit, I believe, in Wayne's World, but this is where luckily somebody was coming from the audience, and going right up over the barricade and just snatch what's his name, Nick Wayne, and you won't guess who it was. It was none other than the cold-hearted, handsome Tasmanian Devil. Hook picks him up and start hitting him with the red one, this for last week, when you and your father and your stepfather and your stepbrother ambushed me. This is where they started going for a fist fight against the Prodigy. This is where they took it right into the backstage area. This is where Kip Sabian did not know what to do because it happened so fast. When Christian Cage started saying, what the hell's going on here? But this is where we got Juice Robinson gave Christian Cage a taste of his own medicine, what he gave to him, which it was like a back DDT version of that neck breaker he did to the rock hard tank, I guess you could say. This is where then that's where we got Juice Robinson trying to come in to get the tag to the Switchblade, but Hangman Page was not trying to let that happen. This is where he threw Christian Cage, which is a tag partner, right back in the ring. This is where then Christian Cage tried to stop him, which he did so in just of a nick of time by pulling him right to his side. He tags in Hangman Adam Page. The cowboy that calls himself Sugar Honey Iced Tea goes for a clothesline onto the Switchblade, but it's where it only knocked him down for a second, because once he tried to go and try to do the same to Juice Robinson, he road ducked. This is where Jay White came right back up right just in the nick of time. Tags in Juice Robinson. Juice Robinson tags in Switchblade. This is where Jay White then started going on a forearm fight, into a wrestling tennis battle, which Jay White sort of won just by an inch. He nearly lost, but he went to the last second, swing the last shot, and made him taste the ale, of the match point, I guess you could say. This is where they start hitting some knife edge shots, which I believe he got to the second place spot on the Gunther's envy list. This is where then. And we started hitting some right hands right to the face, because we heard it just a tad louder, but it wasn't the loudest of the night. But he's still gonna get the second place spot on the ring general. I was like, hopefully he stays in All Elite Wrestling, not go to that other company. It's for the best, or else his life and his wrestling career will be over. But by the time where he steps in the ring with him, but this is where we got. What's his name? Hangman Page. Try to go for a clothesline. Juice Robinson, not Juice Robinson. Jay White goes underneath, try to go for a back suplex, but this is where Hangman Page flips right out of it, try to kick somebody in the gut. But this is where we got we got Here's where we got Jay White then try to go for a dragon screw. Here's where we got Jay White then going for going what they call a dragon screw. This is where we got Jay White then it was like, what you got? I should do. This is where we got Hank. This is where we got what's his name? This is where we got Jay White to go for a DDT. This, right when he goes for a splash on the Hangman out page, he goes for a DDT. What else happened? Yeah, he hit him. He hits Juice Robinson with a DDT, and what else happened? But that's where we got Christian Cage. Then I go for the kill switch. This is where then we got Jay White to go for a DDT. This is where we got Jay White then send him right to the right side when Christian Cage tried to go for a kill switch, but it managed to get intercepted by the Switchblademan. This is where he hits a single underhook suplex right onto the back of Hangman Page into the corner in the upper right side. This is where he messed up his back of his left knee, clutch in the process, and this is where he tried to go for a pin. But Hangman still kicked out at 2.7. This is where he tags in Juice Robinson. This is where Jay White then sent Juice Robinson right to the upper right side. He splashes right onto Hangman Page. This is where Hangman Page tried to block him, but Juice Robinson was splashing on him. But this is where he grabbed on his foot. He took a page out of the Miz's playbook and then put his double knees down, bending that bad leg in the process, which I believe that was the right leg he messed. The left leg he messed up. This is where Juice Robinson hit a cannonball right onto the cowboy that called himself Sugar Honey Iced Tea. This is where we got Hangman Jay White actually hit the brainbuster right onto the Hangman out of pay. This is where Juice Robinson tried to go for a cover, but he nearly got the 3. But Hangman managed to kick out at the last second of 2.999, 9999999, double triple 9 minus 0.1. Double to my minus 0.1 away from being 3. That's where Christian Cage I go for a right hand. But that's where we got Juice Robinson did the big left hand right into the face. That's where then we got Juice Robinson going up right up in the top rope. This is where he was in our upper right corner side trying to dive, but this is where he gets tripped right over by the cowboy that called himself Sugar Honey Ice. He then landed right between his ow. That was very painful. And that was right into the family jewels. And some of y'all saying why the referee did not DQ him? That's because he tripped him over and he hit on its own rather than him hitting it with a weapon or hitting him with his own hands. That's what it would be DQ by there. But he did not do it. He just allowed the ring post to do it. So it's still the match still goes because it was not no wrestler that hit him right down there. But the sad thing is he's not going to be starting a family with time with Tony Storm anytime soon, given to this issue. But this is where we got Hangman out of Page, then start trying to squeeze his thumbs right in the eyes of Jay White. Then I was like, no, like somebody stop this crazy psychopath. Like he's worse than the Great Khali when he used to squeeze and cave and squeeze the juices and blood out of people's heads, just like that one time with Rey Mysterio, which that's going to be a different video for a different. That's going to be in a different video for a different day. But yeah, this is where we got him trying to squeeze the out of his eyes. This is where we got this is where we got Hangman. That's where Hangman Page hit us, Larry, because he was distracted with the eyes messing up, and Jay White didn't be able to get to see it because he got knocked out, like because he got his eyes like he was distracted with his eyes, like, and he was and that was the issue. 63, 38, 64, 64, 3809, 64, 3809. This is where we got, yeah. This is where once Hangman Page trying to that's where then Hangman on the Page then grab Juice Robinson by the beard. This is where then he hits that Kanoku driver was. That's where he would have that's where he tried to go for a pin, but this is where Juice Robinson kicked out of it at a near fall of 2.99. This is where he hits a pop-up power bomb, like if he's a certain prize fighter at the other company. But this time, he hit it with like a sit-out power bomb kind of position. But once he tried to go for a pin, he probably would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for that meddling Blademan, which was none other than Juice's friend Jay White. They were the match still goes. This is where Jay White was like, "Yeah, you're not getting rid of me." This is where Jay White tried to throw Hangman out Page right to the left side when Hangman tried to do the same thing. This is where history almost repeated itself. Like when Jay White was distracted with Christian Cage and he tried to go for the buckshot. I'm not buckshot. What I'm talking about, the Blade Runner. That's what I should say. Yeah, the Blade Runner. That's where, yeah, Christian Cage got distracted. He tried to go for the Blade Runner. Heyman had a Page that came out of nowhere, tried to go for the buckshot lariat. This is where, like, this is where we got. This is where he ducks out. The first time a Hangman Page came from the right side, clotheslines him anyways. And I was like, what was the flubbing point of that? And this is where we got. This is where we got Hank. This is where we try to go for. This is where then we try to go for a closeout again, but this is where what's his name? Jay White and count out, they hit a flatliner. Christian Cage trying to get a guaranteed kill switch, but this is where luckily Juice Robinson came in for the save, or else he would have gotten the guaranteed finishing maneuver. This is where Jay White used that for his advantage of the tap Nelson suplex. This is where Hangman Adam Page trying to go for a discus clothesline. I believe we're trying to pay tribute to Brody Lee, but I believe he's still trying to replace him as the leader of the Dark Order, wherever it's left for that faction. This is where we got Jay White gave him the same treatment he gave Christian Cage after the half Nelson suplex. This is where we got. That's where Jay White's like, all right, like now I need to hit the Blade Runner, which he got the guaranteed Blade Runner right onto Christian Cage, right onto the top corner barricade of Barry's tombstone. This is where we got Juice Robinson like, yeah, leave this, get this, unleash this wild cheetah, and this is where he started hitting the bionic punches. This is where he hits the big iron jab right into the left hand. This is where then Juice Robinson trying to hit that Juice's loose DDT that looked like similar to Seth Rollins' former DDT finisher. This is where Hangman Adam Page counters and try to go for a dead eye. This is where we got. This is where Juice Robinson then countered into a sunset flip, and he would have probably gotten away with this win if it wasn't for that meddling. If it wasn't for that meddling wife of the patriarch, I guess you could say, like, which was Shayna Wayne. Like, yeah, and some of y'all say that's not really Christian Cage's wife. I already know that. I'm just trying to play along with this. The show is showing us on TV and into their alliance. But this is where. Yeah, they would. But this is where once the referee tried to count, this is where Hangman Adam Page kicked out right at the last second. This is where Juice Robinson like, I don't care if you're a woman. If you do this one more time, I'm gonna lose the juice. This is where then we got. This is where we got. What's his name? That's where we got Hangman Adam Page and got in control. Hits the dead eye right onto the Juice Robinson. Got the guarantee and the 1-2-3. It's true because the obvious rhyme and it's a common one in professional wrestling. And yeah, winner of this match, Christian Cage and Hangman Adam Page. They got the victory. I guess I'll give a big win to them. I mean, a big congratulations to them, but it's where they nearly tried to do a post-match beatdown on the Juice Robinson. But luckily, Jay White scared them off with a steel chair. It's where they show all the matches that's going to be at Full Gear. First, they started with Hangman Adam Page versus Juice Robinson. Hangman Adam Page versus, not Juice Robinson, Switchblade Jay White, his best friend and teammate, and John Moxley. That's where they show the Mox seizes the Superstation, like on tonight's Dynamite. They show him going to be defending his title against, what's his name? This is where we saw them showing John Mox will defend his title in about how many days from now? Saturday's about 4 days, 3 days from now. So 10 days from now. That's where they showed he'll be facing Orange Cassidy for the AEW World Championship. They showed the main event. The match before the main event is going to be Leo Rush and Swerve Strickland, and then we got House of Black versus FTR in the main event, which both of those were double bangers after bangers. And also we got Britt Baker versus Penelope Ford. This is where they show we will be hearing plenty from Bobby Lashley. This is where they show other matches like what other match that's going to be on AEW Full Gear. oh yeah, the CEO Mercedes Moné going to be defending her TBS title against the born again Kristen, the instigating, also known as the instigating Chris Statlander. That's where then they showed like them. Showed a backstage interview with the unmarkable Renee Paquette, start asking these very unnecessary, idiotic questions about like why did her and Camille like nearly run over Chris Statlander, but it's where then the CEO starts spitting facts, starts saying like I wasn't the one that was driving, which that was true. Like it was all Camille because she's starting to be the next Prince Nana in AEW because she swerves when she drives and she better be careful. Like the Brick House don't want to turn it. Make that into a new gimmick, like that she don't have a driver's license and she needs to get a new one. But let's hope she does have one. Like she's supposed to be a brick building, not a brick car or any type of vehicle that drives. But yeah, that's where then we got. It is where then she was like, yeah, like what is up with you, Renee Paquette? I was like, yeah, like she's been continuing to drink that Cincinnati water and she needs to lay that off, like so she can get back to normal again if she ever have before. But this is where we got this is where she pretended that none of this happened when she looked right in the camera saying, hey, Bridgeport, like I say hello to your cutest ever operator, and this is where then she then said like okay like now that's out of the way. But this is where then but this is where we got. But this is where then she was. This is where she told Camille to take this into her locker room, her extra outfits, which they cost $20,000. I'm like, well, that's a lot of money. Like, and maybe I could suggest recommend you to go to a couple of fashionable places, but still, that's like maybe 50% off, if not 75% off to go. I just have a couple of places that you can go, like, and highly recommend you to go to these particular stores. They'll dress nice, but for the price that you probably want. That line sounds very familiar, but my point is, like, yeah, like even if you're rich, like you still need some money for a rainy day. But anyway, this is where we got the CEO that said yeah, like Chris, like how. And like she was like, that's only just a preview. And I was like, yeah, that's absolutely true. Like, hopefully she gets powerbombed right through the table. I was like, too bad there's no table around in the hallway. So you could just use it on that pay-per-view for AEW Full Gear. But anyways, this is where we got you got Renee Paquette start saying, well, what's actually going to be doing to the born again Kristen? But like this is where something frightening happened because Chris Statlander happened to be right behind her when she started saying this stuff about her. This was like. And she was like, now, like, I'm ready. I'm now, Renee, like, I need to get ready for the show. Like, if you excuse me, like, I gotta make myself a picture perfect. Like, so, yeah, this was like, no, thank you for your time. This is where she turned around. This is where she was very frightened. This is where she was wondering where Camille is because she took very long to put her stuff into her locker room. This is where she started running, but this is where Camille heard her name. This is where she zoomed in like if she was Wonder Woman, but she ended up getting thrown shoulder first right into the wall. She seems unsafe more than Liv Morgan have. But this is where we got. This is where we got. But this is where we got Chris Statlander trying to see where the CEO was at. But Mercedes, when they caught her, like when she was hiding right in the side of the hallway, she pushed her right into the wall, started giving her a few right hands until she gets put right into the right corner. This is where she nearly got spine buster. Luckily, the Brick House managed to save her, but she should have attacked Chris Statlander first before saving the CEO. But it's where we got Chris Statlander made this bad to worse because she speared not only Mercedes Moné, but also Camille right through a wall. And I'm like, here we go again. Like, oh, Lord. Like, why? Like, first it was tables. Now, first she threw people right through tables. Now she's throwing people right into walls. Like somebody better find her. Like, Anthony Khan, you need to give her, like, some kind of a $500,000 fine, $500 million even. Like, please, Anthony Khan. Like, yeah, like she's not like making this any better for anybody in the business. but yeah, that's what basically happened. But yeah, let me know in the comment section right down below. And who do you think is gonna win this? Once again, I keep asking like about a billion times. But yeah, like. But yeah, like I hope that she does get thrown right to a table, whether it's the Brickhouse Camille or the CEO Mercedes Moné. But this is where we got But yeah, let's hope that she does not find another inanimate object to throw another wrestler into the right into, because yeah, hopefully that Anthony Khan will give her like $1 billion fine. But I'm not sure who ever do that, because he's so interested of watching them fight, because he's worse than Booker T and the homeless man in the hurricane. Like, hopefully he's not like that kind of a guy. Like, or else I'm gonna file a complaint onto him, like about favoritizing onto the born again Christian. But anyways, yeah. But I don't think he's doing that. I think he's unbiased, and he's just well invested, like to both women, like fighting on the upcoming pay per view. But anyway, yeah. But it's all about safety, though. At the same time, like, and you shouldn't allow Chris Statlander to get away with brutal, like brutalizing and or over brutalizing her victims. But yeah, but moving on, we're going to be talking about let's see. We got Will Ospreay making his entrance, like, and it's been how many? I don't know how long last time we saw Will Ospreay. It's been weeks, weeks after weeks after weeks. I'm trying to remember when the last time we saw him. I think it was probably since Wrestle Dreams, and that was like over a month ago. But it's where we got Will Ospreay high fiving the fans, and it's where he's like, "Hello, everybody in Bridgeport." That's where the And that's where then Tony Schiavone was in an in-ring interview with him, like asking questions, like saying, like, yeah, you were in the ring with this guy, and that was Kyle Fletcher. And this is where Will Ospreay's like, yeah, there's a lot of questions I need answer for, Tony. He was like, yeah, Konosuke Takeshita is prancing around with my international championship, like. And this is where the fans are saying, "We love you, Ospreay," in Bridgeport. And this is where Will Ospreay responded back by showing his appreciation by thanking them. And this is where then Ospreay's like, "But I need some answers, like right here, right now." So, like, Mr. Antonio, like, I, if you excuse me, and this is where then Siobhan's like, "Yeah, like as you wish." And then this is where he walked out and went back to the commentary desk with Excalibur and Nigel McGuinness. This is where he called out Kyle Fletcher, and you know the rules of professional wrestling, like that. But it's where he called out Kyle Fletcher, like, and you know the rules there, and 14.8, like that. Like when you call out somebody and they happen to be in the same arena with you, they're going to show up and see what the heck you want from them. And it's where that's exactly what Kyle Fletcher. He's like. It's where Kyle Fletcher's like, you know, Will, like, as much as I like to come out on my own terms, like, but like I want to tell you that I want to tell you that I'm not a coward. I want to prove, like, and I proved that by coming out here. And then that was weeks ago, like when. Like, I called you out, like, to meet you in that ring face to face. Like, you rather sit at home, like, you take your roof and show up for these people, like. He's like, so I'm out here, like to see you face to face, like man to man, Will, like, and I'm telling you, the family is never gonna be behind, and if you lay a finger on me, Will, like we're gonna be sending you home, like for a lot longer, if longer more than 3 weeks, if not longer than that, or permanently. He's like, well, that being said, Will, what do you want to talk about? Taking a line from a certain nightmarish wrestler that's from America. This is where we got Will Ospreay was like. That's where Will Ospreay was like, I ain't going just a second, like, yeah, like, and he was like, yeah, like I know Don Callis and the rest of his family is gonna be coming with you in this ring, and you then came here alone, like getting you, and this where, and it was like, and it was like, and I know that same screwdriver you stabbed me right in the back of the head is in your back pocket, like, so why don't you do me and everybody else here in Bridgeport, and I want you to pull it out and just send it to me so we could just talk like man to man. And this is where we got Kyle Fletcher got the screwdriver. He passed it to Will Ospreay. Surprisingly, I was not. I was amazed, that he actually did that and not refused not to. But this is where we got Will Ospreay picked it up, threw it right into the right side, which is the stage for the. That's where the Will Ospreay, like, we did it perfectly by just stucking it right into the right side, the ringside area. This is where then Will Ospreay was like, oh really? Like I'm looking at the same guy I'm looking at the same guy that I used to call a brother. Like, but no, and this is the same guy that's now that show me like hatred and what's that called, like, and yeah, what's that, hatred, and what's the other word, like they and now he's showing me that he's full of hatred and full of what's that called, like yeah, what's that other word, I totally forgot, like he but he's the same guy that used to stay in my house, like in like in like in and he was trained, like he was training with me during the pandemic period, and he was like, and yeah, and you had nowhere else. That was when you had nowhere else to go. Like, and everything was shutting down. Like, and guess who you knocked on the door? Yep, it was me. Like, and I let you in. And it was like, and I also not only that, like I also have you. I also join you to train with me over at the same gym, like when I was wrestling in New Japan, and also I let you join my group as the United Empire. It was just you, me, and Mark Davis, like, and we over in Japan, like in England, like heck, hell, like I also opened the door here when I joined AEW, and I was like, yeah, like he's telling the truth. Like, even though I didn't follow like much of him in Japan, but I did hear pretty much like all about him though. Like in highlights, like with him wrestling the likes of Ricochet and AJ Styles and other wrestlers, and he had me very interested in watching his matches as well. But it's, and I started watching more of him like once he got to AEW, obviously. But yeah, this is where we got Will Ospreay continued to say like, yeah, like, you know. Like, yeah, you know pretty much everything about me, Kyle. Like, you know, when I go to what gym I go, and you know exactly where I live. Like, and like you come to my son's school to help pick him up with me. Like, because you're a proud uncle, like to do that. And then this is where then Will Ospreay continues like saying like, but more importantly that. But the one thing that frightens me is you, like, why would you stab me right into the back, like in favor of Don Callis? Like, that's what's that have me spooked right now. Like, I want answers and I demand them now, right here, right now. This where then and this where then he's like, and I don't want from Don Callis, I want it from you, Mr. Fletcher. This is where Fletcher then answer his question why he betrayed. This was like, well, surprise. Like, well, I want to take credit for somebody else's successes. And this is where then Kyle Fletcher's like, yeah, Don didn't do anything but open my eyes to the truth about you, Will. Like, yes, like you did all that for me at first. Like, yeah, you had me a place to sleep, and you failed me when I needed it. Like, but what were you what cause, like, were you really doing that for, Will? Like, you actually were doing it for me? Like, I think you were only doing it for your damn self to prove a point. Like, everything that you do is all about you, Will Ospreay. Like, you want to keep me under your wing and mold me into this Will Ospreay clue, like, so you can so you can have me do your dirty work, and that you can make sure that what he said. Oh, it was. But it's where then. It's where Kyle Fletcher then continued to say, what he said, like, yeah, like you. And it's where then he called him. He's like, yeah, you are one selfish, like a hypocritical, like what he said, like a selfish, hypocritical, narcissist, I should say. Yeah, he said like you're just you're right. I said like. You're just a selfish, hypocritical narcissist, like that only think about yourself. And I did exactly what you had done, was exactly what you did myself. Like, look what you did to Okada and Omega in your time in Japan. And I was like, well, like, maybe, like, bitch man probably deserved to be stabbed right in the back. You never know what was the reason for that. But secondly, Kenny Omega, maybe you have a point about him. But I think Kenny Omega moved on from that. Like, he said, like, I understand why he did it, but, like, but the deed has been done, and he already apologized to me probably about 1,000 times. But like, no need to go there. Like, but it's where we got Kyle Fletcher then was telling the truth and partially not. Like, but it's where he was like, you did exactly what you did, You do the exact same. This is what Will Ospreay's like. He was like, hold it up, bruv. Like, hang it on just a second. Like the last time I saw you, like, I was. And this where it was like, the last time I saw you, like, you were in this very ring, like, when I was sitting down right beside my 6-year-old son, like, shaving your head off, like, for what cost, Kyle? Like, you were absolutely nothing like me, Kyle Fletcher. Like, and it's like, and what I did to Okada and what I did to Kenny, like, with, like, he was like, and what I did to Okada and Omega, like what you did exactly the same to me. Like you're thinking that you're exactly the new Will Ospreay. Like, so what are you doing the favor? Like, pick a line. Like, it is where it's like, he was like, so pick a side. Are you really like me, Will Ospreay, or William middle initial Ospreay, whatever it is, but like, or like you're just the Will Ospreay clone, and this is where fans are like, oh. And this is where fans are like, wow, like, yeah, that, like, he makes a good point. Like you're like, he's pretty much the second option, like, because he's trying to be like Will Ospreay, but he's in denial of not trying to be. And it's claiming that Will Ospreay is trying to make him look like that, but the only person that's trying to make him the new Will Ospreay is himself. But this is where we got Will Ospreay because he's like, he was like, and yeah, I stabbed Okada in the back. I admit it. And I was like, yeah, that was worth it because, like, who want to associate themselves with a bitch, man? But this is where we got Will Ospreay's like, yeah, I stabbed Kenny Omega in the back. I was like, but maybe that was kind of regrettable. But this is where Will Ospreay's like, but before I even did all that, I was a 3-time junior heavyweight champion in Japan and a 2-time best of super junior waiter. And this is where he's like, like in every continent ever I come to, I have gold, and tell me, Kyle Fletcher, like what have you done in all those continents that you competed in with me? Like, and he was like, I know, I am not Aussie Open, I'm. He's like, and no, and I'm not talking about what you done with me as the United Empire or Aussie Open, like what you did with Mark Davis. I'm talking about what you done alone, like without us. And then it's where then Kyle Fletcher had nothing to say because Will Ospreay was told, speaking fast. This is where Will Ospreay's like, yeah, you just ride off our coattails into success. And it's where Kyle Fletcher's no, like, you know what I've done in the past, like what I am going to do. And then that's where the Ospreay was like, what are you talking about? Like, this is where then Kyle Fletcher was like, again, he was like, and I'm gonna get every accomplishment that you once had, but I'm gonna have like soon. He's like, I'm gonna prove that like when at the pay-per-view I'm gonna take you out at, and that is none other than Full Gear. Well, he didn't say it like that. I'm gonna love the way to impersonate what's his name? Wasn't Eddie Kingston when every time I mentioned the pay-per-view in November, but this is where it's like, I want to challenge you at that pay-per-view. Like and it's gonna be the future versus Will washed up Ospreay. And it's where then Will Ospreay's like, yeah, that's what it is. Like that's what it's all about, Kyle. Like this guy just wants my fame and fortunes. This guy wants to be me. Like that's like I expected him to assume that he's planning on doing. Like he's actually trying to head his way of trying to steal my spotlight. And then this is where Will Ospreay's like. And this is where it's like, but if you want the singles match, look no further. Because around this past from around these past weeks, I'm calling my shots against you at this upcoming pay-per-view against Kyle Fletcher. And this is where it's like, but ever since he's been there, like in the AEW, he'd beaten four former world champion, and he couldn't do exactly match what he does on every single pay-per-view. And he was like, and if he wants the match, the challenge is accepted. And then this is where then fans like, yeah, we like to see this. This is where Will Ospreay's like, yeah, like we see why it's gonna be so sweet. Because I'm gonna watch you shave your head, like when I was sitting right there with my 6-year-old son, like I just told you earlier, like you had no idea the damage you caused that Tiger Driver with my arm, like this left arm can feel anything, and it don't have, and it hardly has any feeling whatsoever, and I couldn't really feel my feel my son leaning on my arm like when he was there, like, and it, and it, and it's where he's like, and then you just took a small piece away from him, like, and like, so allow me to the nice carry for me. Like in this AEW pay-per-view at Full Gear in 23rd of November is right in front of you. Like, and I'm gonna be the mono lover that's gonna be taken away from you, Fletcher. And then it's where then went face to face with him with an angry face. And then it's where Kyle Fletcher was like, well, you think that Tiger Driver was bad that I did to you at Wrestle? You think that screwdriver in the back with the head was bad as well, Will? Like, by Full Gear, like, I'm not just coming for the piece, right? I'm coming for everything you got. And that's where then he's like, well, let's just find out, like, what condition, what condition that the shot against you at Full Gear. That's where then the rest of the mass majority of the Don Callis family came out, which was Lance Archer and Brian Cage. Like, this is where Will Ospreay was like, oh, like this is supposed to be a fair fight, huh? Like, you got some new friends here, right? But don't worry, people. Like, I got some friends too, and they came out, which was none other than Powerhouse Hobbs and Mark Davis of his former United Empire stable, just taking out Lance Archer and Brian Cage. But this is where we got Will Ospreay going for a crossbody outside on the right side, right onto Kyle Fletcher, setting his sights on him. This is where Lance Archer hit a big boot, which I believe it used to be his finishing maneuver, right into the face onto Mark Davis. This is where he fell right to the right side. This is where the Murder Hog Monster to try to see who's going to be his next victim. This is where Will Ospreay was making victimizing what's his name? Kyle Fletcher. This is where Powerhouse Hobbs sent Brian Cage right into the back. This is where our boy Roddy Strong came out. This is where he had his match against Lance Archer up next. And this is where I was like, yeah, get him, Roddy. And let's just say he did exactly that. And this is where they took it to the backstage area when Lance Archer came out. Referee just started the bell because this was a false count anywhere match. I'm like, my silly ass, like, I totally forgot this was a no DQ contest. Like, most specifically, a false count anywhere match, which this match could go anywhere, whether if it's inside the ring, outside the ring, or even backstage, as long as they when they're trying to end the match, they do it by pinfall or submission, like any of those places. That's the whole rules of the false count anywhere match. But this is where we got. Let's see, like, we got Lance Archer manages to bring Roderick Strong right back into the arena after slamming him right to the back of the LED screen. This is where then we got him and start beating him down around into the audience, like into the barricade of Barry, like into the back part of the tombstone, like right onto the top corner side of the audience, until he throw him right back into the ringside area, like in the upper corner side. Is where then Lance Archer. This is where Lance Archer made a threat to Roderick Strong's child by saying, like, Daddy's not going to be coming home, but he was a complete lie because, like, I believe Roddy Strong's about to be on his way to go back home to spend the rest of the night with his kid. Like, I believe he has one kid, if not two. I'm not sure, but all I know is that he has one child that I know in particular, like, which they show pictures on social media along with his wife Marina Shafir. So I'm not sure. I'm not in their business, but yeah, this is where we got Lance Archer. Then they try to go for a splash right on this Roddy Strong, but Roddy Strong trips him right over, right in the midsection. This is where Roddy Strong was handshaking with a father with his kid, like, saying, like, yeah, like, I'm gonna make sure to beat him up, like, and he won't be in your nightmares. That's where he started beating him right in his head, which that's what I was even cheering him on. Like, if I was in attendance, but obviously I wasn't. I was watching it at home. But yeah, this is where Roddy Strong got ambushed from behind by Lance Archer's Don Callis brother, or Don Callis family brother, I guess you could say. I'm not sure what way to put it, but this is where it was Brian Cage. He attacks poor Roddy from behind. He then throws him right into the barricade where Roddy Strong and throw him right to the top corner side. This is where Brian Cage then this is where he tried to go for a power bomb right onto Roderick Strong. This is where we got Roderick Strong trying to hit some right hands, like boom, 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 boom. This is where Lance Archer tried to go for a choke slam. This is where then we got But that's where we got the Undisputed Kingdom. What's his name? What's their name? Matt Taven and Mike Bennett came out. I was like, praise God! Like they're here to save Roddy, and that's where then they start beating the hell out of the monsters. I guess you could call them the Beast and Monster or Machine Beast monsters, whatever what the hybrid you want to describe them as. But I was like, yeah, you can wrestlers that are from Boston, like never let you down. But this is where we got them beating the hell out of them, like yeah, right in the back of the audience. This is where we got Roderick Strong, then double team with Mark. What's that? Mark Taven, Matt Taven. It's where, but Matt Taven gets hit with a right hand. Lance Archer throw him right to the barricade. Matt Taven trying to help out Roddy Strong, start hitting some elbow strikes onto Lance. But it's where he pushes him, hits a boot right to the clock him right in the head. It's where Lance Archer trying to go up right on top of the barricade, but luckily Roddy Strong, or before that, this is where Roderick Strong did something horrible to Matt Taven, like when the security guard's like, put him down. This is put him down. This where then Lance Archer took the request from the security from the security team out of context and say like, "Oh, you want him down? I'll with pleasure." And this is where then he, I believe, chokeslam him right on top of them. Yeah, this is where then. This is where fans start chanting "Holy Sugar on the Iced Tea" uncensored, like the other company does it, because they're the complete opposite of that company. Like this. Yeah, but because they're TV 14, like, of course, they're going to allow them to say it without being censored, like saying, holy sugar, honey, iced tea. And no, they were not chanting the Bridgeport snack bar for ice cold, refreshing beverage, even though that would sound good right about now. But this is where we got, yeah. That's where Lance Archer tried to choke slam Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong flips right out of it, trips him over, lands right into he landed right into his family jewels. With what's his name? This is where then Excalibur like, like yeah, like he's definitely not going to be starting no kind of family anytime soon. Just like another certain journalistic mask wearing fella, which I might be seeing right here. But this is where we got Roderick Strong hits a couple of forearm strikes right to the face, knocking over Lance Archer. This is where the Roderick Strong like waited for him to get right back up to finish him right off. Like, but this is where Roderick Strong still was on top part of the barricade. The fans are chanting Roddy, including myself. Yeah, because I am a massive fan of him. Next to what's his name, the Adam, next to his friend Adam Cole, baby, or should I say it like this, Adam? Well, that's I'm not sure if that's necessary, but yeah, but I thought I might say it anyways because now it's starting to sound pretty cool. Well, I'll say the way he says it right now, like, but this is where Roderick Strong hits the knee strike right into the face onto the Lance Archer, goes for the pin, 1, 2, 3, right into in the audience because obviously it's the false count rules, and he gets the win. Big victory from the former AEW International Championship. He's guaranteed to get a shot at Maxwell Jacob Freeman at AEW Full Gear. But unfortunately, we won't be seeing the other guy, which I'm not sure I should be saying that right about now. But yeah. Like big congratulations. I'll give this match to. Let's see. I'll say the. Why not give it the silver trophy? Yeah. Which I'll give it a tie to Adam Cole versus Konosuke Takeshita. I totally forgot to give this. I forgot to tell you I gave this the second place. So it's going to be back-to-back double trophies like for 2 matches of the night, which this gets second place tie with Adam Cole versus Konosuke Takeshita. But we're going to get to that in just a moment because this is where Roddy Strong got into in the ring because this ties in like from the next match, which is also going to be second place of the silver trophy. This is where Roddy Strong got on the microphone with the referee raising his hand. He was like, Maxwell! With him then call him out that he's going to challenge him. He's gonna beat him at Full Gear by stating that like at the pay per view like that. With a tired breath, he was like yeah, this is gonna all end like, and he's gonna finish his ass off like once and for all. But this is where once he dropped the microphone and raised his hand held high, this is where he gets attacked and ambushed by a guy in a very long hoodie, and this is where it was none other than the new North American champion, Konosuke Takeshita. But luckily, my boy Adam Cole, baby, then came out there for the save, and that's where then he knocked him out like with a couple right hands, like with him. Not completely knocking him out with a couple of right hands, but you get the point. But he started playing wrestling tennis by going right hand back and forth with him until I believe he knocked him out with a super kick, actually, or was it an enziguri kick after he won the wrestling tennis? That's where then he didn't fall. That's where he followed that up by doing his poses, like when you if he was entering the ring, like which he already have. That's where he did the boom gesture. Just where then he waited for they get to the part where he says this phrase, like which he started doing his hand waved, and then he started getting up down into the floor, and then flips himself right back up with the Adam Cole baby phrase, with the fans saying along with him. That never gets old. Like that's what makes him one of the greatest wrestlers of all time in the modern day. But it's where they start the match after that with Konosuke Takeshita. Nobody lays out the alpha and gets away with it. That's where he got back in the ring. This is where they start going at it by swinging fists for the second round. This is where Adam Cole won once again, sending Konosuke Takeshita right into the bottom right corner side. And this is where Adam Cole's like, who wants to see some story time starting in this match, Adam Cole, babies? And then it's where fans are like, we do! And it's where then he was about to do so, but it's where Konosuke Takeshita counters, hits him knife edge chop right onto the bottom right side. Is where then he did try to throw him right to the diagonal side and the upper left side. This is where Adam Cole boots him right in the face. This is where he tried to run right back at him, but this is where he nearly super kicked him. But this is where Konosuke Takeshita tried to block his face, but this is where he found something to use for his advantage by super kicking Konosuke right into the left leg. This is where Adam Cole then tried to hit him with a finisher, which was the Parama Sunrise. But this is where he gets hit with a forearm strike right into the face, or not forearm, elbow strike right onto the to the former Ring of Honor and NXT champion. This is where then we got. This is where Konosuke Takeshita gave him a death stare. They were like, yeah, you are gonna pay for what you did, Mike, just because you want to save your friend. And he's like, I'm gonna make you regret your decision. Then make sure that you never ever do this again. Like when I get through with you, this is where he start stomping onto him. This is where he try to go for a brain buster, but Adam Cole counters out of it. This is where then he didn't try to go for a super kick, but he spun him around. This is where then he tried to go for the least most devastating move in all of professional wrestling, and he must have been arguing with Simon Miller of using this again for like the 5,000th time. This is where he successfully did so. He was struggling because Adam Cole was trying to fight him, but he ends up doing it again. And then this is why I was like, I see why Simon Miller does call the move sucks, because because half the wrestlers do it. Guys like him and Chris Statlander, except for Sami Zayn, totally suck as well. Because they're horrible, they're kind of overrated, and they're just one-hit wonders, with them only having one accomplishment in AEW as being mid-carders that only held the mid-card titles once, respectively, in their careers. But this is where he hits the Blue Thunder Bomb right onto Adam Cole, baby, and this is where then we got. The referee counted 1, referee counted 2, but this is where Adam Cole then hits the left shoulder up right onto in the middle of the ring. This is where Konosuke Takeshita then it was like, that's where he's like, yeah, why is he not giving up? This is where then we got Konosuke Takeshita like, no matter, I got plan B, and that is that Falcon Arrow spin around Falcon Arrow. This is where he started taunting Adam Cole like, what you gonna do now, baby? If that's your real name. And this is where Adam Cole's like, that's not my real name. It's just the phrase I use with my name. And this is where he started hitting his forearms right back at him. This is where then Konosuke Takeshita was like, but it's still part of your name, isn't it? And this is where then Adam Cole's like, no, that's not the case. Is where then Konosuke then hit the forearm right back at him. That's where he called him, I believe he must have called him a liar because he hit him hard. That's where Adam Cole was very angry after he hit him with this elbow strike. That's where he started going back with elbow strikes of his own, when fans are like, yes, like if he's Bryan Danielson. But this is where Adam Cole tried to go for a pump boot, but he gets caught by Konosuke, puts the foot down, hits a elbow strike right into the face. This is where Adam Cole then try to run right into the left side. This is where we got Adam Cole go for a pump kick of his own right to his face. This is where then he This is where then we got Konosuke Takeshita try to go for a clothesline, but he does hit a insecurity kick like how Super Ninja Austin would have done, like if he was fighting Konosuke Takeshita. But this is where we got Adam then waits for him to get up on his knees, like to hit this finishing move, which is formerly known as the last shot, but now it's called the boom. And this is where he tried to hit the maneuver. He nearly did so, but this is where Konosuke Takeshita ducked right at the last minute. And this won't be the last time Adam Cole will attempt this maneuver. And y'all know the rules in professional wrestling on page 4003. If it doesn't work the first attempt, it's going to be the second time that's going to be the guarantee, but it's where we got Konosuke Takeshita hits an elbow strike right into the face. This is where he tried to hit him with a brain bust, but this is where he got backfired, and this is where Adam Cole hits him with the keypad brain buster, which I still assume that's still a signature maneuver. This is where Adam Cole to try to go for a pin, but unfortunately, Konosuke Takeshita kicked out of 2.8, if I'm not mistaken. Adam Cole was absolutely frustrated. He's like, how did that not work? This is where Adam Cole to try to go for the Parama Sunriser, but this is where it did not work. But yeah, you know the rules, like his other finisher, the boom. Like, yeah, that may have been countered the first time, but you never know when he's going to be hitting the second attempt. But this is where you got Konosuke Takeshita trying to turn it to a tombstone power driver. I was about to call him out for it by saying he's not the Undertaker, but before I even reacted to this is where Konosuke Takeshita turned into like a wheelbarrow driver, like if he was a male version of Chris Statlander, like with the Saturday Night Fever. I believe that's what she calls it. But it's where then we got Konosuke Takeshita then hits wheelbarrow German suplex on the Adam Cole. This is where he tried to go for the lariat from Hale. This is where he managed to do so. This is where he tried to go for a pin after knocking his block off, or we thought he did so. This is where Adam Cole got the shoulder up at 2.9999999. Might as well point away from being 3 when the referee was right at the mat. This is where then we got Konosuke Takeshita took off his knee pad. This is where he tried to hit the exposed running knee, but Adam Cole moved out of the way. That's where he ducks out of the clothesline with Konosuke Takeshita after he dodges out of the knee. Send him right to the left side. That's where he tried to go for another clothesline. Adam Cole ducks again. He comes to the right side. He tried to go for a clothesline, but this is where Konosuke Takeshita was trying to fly at him, but Adam Cole caught him from afar, super kick him a mile away. This is where then Adam Cole going right into the middle rope. This is where then he hits his first finishing maneuver, which was a guarantee, and that was the Parama Sunrise. This is where he followed that up with his other finishing maneuver, with the fans like, come on, do it, boom, boom, boom. This is where Adam Cole was about to have bombs set off in his head, like if he's Randy Orton. But this is where he was like, all right, babies. And then this is where then he took off and exposed his knee pad. This is where then he ran right into. This is where then he runs right to the right side. This is where he tries to hit the boom to get the guaranteed of that finishing maneuver. But before he can even attempt to, Konosuke Takeshita, like in his sake, smartly moved right out of the left side. This is where Adam Cole was about to win right here. But this is where the referee was distracted, making sure that he does not make sure to not get himself disqualified, but I don't know what's the rule of not of grabbing their opponents right back in the ring. I guess it goes right through the ropes, and the referee's gonna be counting, so he's trying to warn him first before he starts making some very hasty decisions, and regrettable ones. But this is where we got Konosuke Takeshita was looking for something underneath the ring. I was like, I wonder what he's gonna get under there that's he's gonna use for his advantage. I'm like, hopefully he's not gonna win, but unfortunately. That just happened. This is where we got Konosuke Takeshita put it right onto his ring finger. No, that wasn't his ring finger. It was his pinky finger. This is where Adam Cole tried to grab with him by pushing the referee on the side. He ends up getting knocked out right in the middle of next week with the Dynamite Diamond Ring. That's where Takeshita goes for the cover, with the referee, what the, how did he knock him out so clean like that? He's not like that 7-foot whale, 7-foot whale and gorilla with Anthony Khan backstage. But this is where then, this is where we got Konosuke Takeshita then well. But anyway, this is where we got Konosuke Takeshita went right back in the ring, covered Adam Cole with the 1, 2, 3. And I was like, bummer. This is where then Konosuke Takeshita won the match, but not only that, Adam Cole will not be facing MJF and Roderick Strong in a triple threat match. It will just be Roddy Strong and Maxwell. And I was like, even though I know who's actually going to win, I just hope that the other guy that's unlikely going to be winning will pull off an upset. But that's just my biased opinion, like because I am a dreadlock a-hole. But this is where we got. But this is where like MJF was more of a bigger a-hole because he started maniacally laughing himself to death. Like when he saw Konosuke Takeshita did the deed, like of defeating Adam Cole and making sure that he's wiped out of this triple threat match. It's only going to be a one-on-one match between him and Roddy. But it's where he was in this dark room, perhaps in his house, like with him watching at home. So I'm like, I'm like I hopefully Roddy Strong will beat you so badly, like you're gonna be have to have a transplant of everything. Like even though I'm a massive fan of MJF, but when it comes to him facing one of my other favorite wrestlers next to the likes of John Cena, Roman Reigns, and Rey Mysterio and Randy Orton and yeah maybe Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes and even plenty of other wrestlers like here in AEW as well, like Swerve Strickland, Darby Allin, and who else? Then I totally have a problem with you. But anyways, yeah. This is where we got what's his name, Konosuke Takeshita trying to pick up his international championship, and this is where Roderick Strong came out because he thought there was going to be a post-match beatdown, but regardless, Roderick Strong made the right decision to kick Konosuke Takeshita out of the ring, beating him beating his rear end. This is where we got Konosuke Takeshita trying to fight back, and he put back the Dynamite diamond ring back. This is where he tried to hit a right hand right to the face onto Strong, but Strong dodged out the way. Was it? Oh no, no, he didn't dodge. This is where a familiar face came out, and there was none other than both Roderick Strong and Adam Cole's friend, Mr. Kyle O'Reilly Auto Parts. I was like undisputed. Well, I can't say the other half, but they're back. This is like the other company's developmental show, all over again. All they're missing is Bobby Fish. And speaking of the former Red Dragon member, where is he at? Where exactly, what wrestling company is he working for now? Oh, that's right. I think it's Major League Wrestling. Yeah. But yeah, hopefully he comes back to the All Elite company, even though he left in bad terms with Anthony Khan. But hopefully they all forgive and forget and let water go right under the bridge, and just agree to make the wrestling business and turn it into the better place as much as they can. But yeah, this is where I was like, yeah, we're gonna be seeing this seeing this into some kind of a trio alliance, being known as just the Undisputed Kingdom, like it used to be in the other Undisputed faction. But this is where we got Konosuke Takeshita thought he got away clean, and not get brutally attacked by somebody. But luckily, we got another enemy that Konosuke Takeshita had to worry about behind him, and it was none other than the one and only Ricochet. And yeah, I say Ricochet. Let's just say a family member called him that, but I. But I call him that just to be funny. But Ricochet, the one and only Ricochet, it's where he ducks out of when he turned Konosuke Takeshita from behind. He tried to clothesline him, but this is where Ricochet ducked. He hit what's that, a jumping super kick right into the face. He then sent him packing right into the heel side of the entrance. He lifted up the international championship. He's like, this baby's about to be mine. And that's where he shouted to Samantha right in front of the camera, Samantha, I'm bringing this home. And this is where then Kyle O'Reilly picked up Roderick Strong. He was like, are you okay, Roddy? And this is where he patted him right in the back. He's like, yeah, glad to hear that with Roderick Strong confirming that he is doing good. This is where then this is where Adam Cole tried to offer a handshake to Kyle O'Reilly. This is where he's should I shake it? This is where he walked off. I don't know why. Maybe it's because his past of him being the mystery devil, and he's not sure if he should trust him. Maybe you cannot really blame him on that, but I think he's gonna come around and he's gonna start trusting him by seeing the signs, with it showing that Adam Cole's a totally different guy, and he's not from 12 months ago. But yeah. But do you think that will happen? And if so, do you think it's going to be much more sooner rather than later? Let me know in the comments. I sure hope that will be the case, so I can see them reform themselves as a unit again. The only person they're missing is, like I said, Bobby Fish, which he's over at Major League Wrestling. But yeah, this is where we got But it's where then Adam Cole and then thank Roddy Strong to have his back against Konosuke Takeshita. But it's where we got the crazy Death Riders came out like in the parking lot, which we saw Roddy Strong's brainwashed wife, Marina Shafir, like then came out of the truck. This is where she got into the building with Jon Moxley when she opened the door for him, which she's trying to be a gentlewoman, which that's such thing as that. Like, yeah, they're very bizarre. But this is where we got them got into the building. But this is where they struck their first victim of the night, and that was the Workhorsemen's J.D. Drake. Claudio Castagnoli and Willer Yuta did so by hitting them with steel chairs repeatedly. Excuse me, assassinator. Really bad allergies. I need to get rid of this ASAP. Well, before I get into that, we got a backstage interview with finally somebody standing up to the delusional Jon Moxley, I guess you could say, and that was that was the Hurt Syndicate when they were in the backstage interview with the unmarkable Renee Paquette. This is where then this is where then Renee Paquette was like, "You're gonna have your first official match at AEW Full Gear in the next 10 days, Bobby Lashley against Swerve Strickland," which he's like. And then again, like he's one of the most like dangerous men in all of professional wrestling, and he was the most dominant champion, like and the most decorated champion in AEW. On top of that, I was like, yeah, that's you got that one right about Swerve Strickland. Like he's very dangerous, and he was the most decorated and dominant champion when he was the AEW champion until he lost the title to the American Dragon, but that's a different story for a different day. But yeah, this is where then Renee Paquette then continues to say, do you feel prepared? And this is where then MVP's like, how dare you, Renee? And I was like, yeah, like hello, like she's been drinking that brainwashing water from Cincinnati. Like she's sounding horrible right now. Like, and this is where she even asked, like, where do you learn your journalism from? I was like, exactly. Like she definitely needs to go back to journal. I'll say like. Some kind of I'll say not that journalist academy of some sort, like, and go to somebody that's more like 100 times experienced as she is, and not asking these very unnecessary questions. And this is where then. And it is where then, like, once he even, this is where when he asked, like, where does he even, and he was like, and like, you know what, like, where did you even got your journalism degree at? And this is where before she can even answer that, this was like, no, like, don't answer that. And I was like, yeah, it's probably going to be best to not for her not to answer that because it's very irrelevant right now. But this is where MVP did answer some questions for Renee, saying like. He's like, let me show you how this is done. Like, and I'm like, this where this part, no, yeah, this word, no, like she, like this word. Then he answered a question about how to be a very professional journalist by asking some very appropriate questions to the Almighty. This where he's like, now Bobby Lashley, like. Like, without question, like, the dominant force and the professional wrestling, one of the most decorated champions in the history of this sport. Like, how does it feel to know that you spent, and then it's like in the next 2 weeks, you may end a young man's career out of a former world champion. And this is where then Bobby Lashley then answered like, well, he was like, well, you see, Renee, like with him answering Renee's question that she was supposed to be asking, but MVP taught her how to do it, which that was for the best because she's starting to sound very off lately. Like maybe it's because she's been manipulated by her husband to drink the water from his hometown of Cincinnati, which they need to be taken to some kind of a rehabilitation clinic, like which I'm not sure where exactly that might be, but somewhere far away from the state of Ohio. But this is where we got Bobby Lashley didn't continue like he was like, I'm gonna be taking care of everybody else soon, but I'm gonna be starting off by making an example out of Swerve Strickland. And this is where Renee Paquette's like, okay, of course. And this is where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna remove Swerve for good. And this is where the MVP, which he's probably going to get Goofy Wrestling of the Night award with the Golden Trophy. He was like, yeah, we heard it from the almighty Bobby Lashley. Like Swerve Strickland will be in action with Leo Rush. We will indeed be watching up close and ringside. And this is where it's like, And here's the microphone, Renee, and this is where Renee was like, "Okay, thank you, Mister Vontavious Porter," and this is where then. And Renee, because okay, back to you, Excalibur. This is where she had I guess she had her feelings hurt, but somebody had to say something before it got worse. Yeah, and maybe TBS will, or even the whole broadcast of the Warner Bros. Discovery would say something about this. But before this even happened, and just to prevent all this from happening, like MVP was the kind man to offer her the show her how it's done, like which he did, like because earlier when she interviewed Mercedes Moné, like she was very awful, like by claiming that she was the one to nearly run over Chris Statlander when she didn't. It was Camille. But yeah, like she's starting to sound worse than John Moxley when he thought that, or he claims that Tony Schiavone is the owner of All Elite Wrestling. Like there's something wrong with that couple. They definitely need to be taken to a psychiatric facility and get rehabilitated sooner rather than later. I guess that's the reason why they don't call John Moxley the lunatic for nothing. I guess that's the reason why. But this is where we got. This is where we got, speaking of the lunatic, this is where we got John Moxley headed out to the ring. Once we got Claudio and Willa Yuta, like, got, what's his name? What's his name? JD Drake of the Workhorsemen right on the stage. This is where he was walking from the audience because that's what we normally do from the back entrance, like with his secretary Marina Shafir. Which I'm surprised that Roderick Strong's not asking questions about this. But this is where we got John Moxley was here. This is where he got in. Into the ringside, but this is where he made. This is where him and Marina Shafir demanded the cameraman to get in the ring by pushing him right in the ring. It's where he's like, okay, like I'm getting in the ring and I'm getting the shot of y'all like getting in here. That's where John Moxley got on the microphone. That's where then he had much to say to his future challenger in the next 10 days, and that is Mr. Freshly Squeezed Orange Cassidy. This is where we got. That's where then we got. John Moxley was like, yeah. Like that's where then John, Bridgeport, like he's like, I'm gonna beat him so bad, like I'm gonna make him drinking his food through the straw, and that's where I was like, it seemed like you've been drinking that nasty Cincinnati water through a straw because you're making less sense than usual. This is where John Moxley was like, yeah, like, and this is where it's like, and you just cannot get that. You just cannot get that off your head that Willa Yuta still belongs to you when reality Willa Yuta belongs to me. And I'm like I don't think Orange Cassidy thinks he owns him. And we all know that you don't own Willa Yuta either. Like he's his own man. Like he shouldn't decide who he wants to align himself with, and he decided to associate with you, Mr. Mox, if that's really your last name. But this is where we got John Moxley that continues like, yeah, he believes in me because you couldn't save him, Orange. Like, you're undetermined. Like, and you put your hands in your pocket and your eyes on the prize. But there's, in reality, there is no fun. Like, but you're going, like, and the only prize that you're going to be getting is a shot of a lifetime, like, for the AEW World Championship at Full Gear. That the championship that you're not going to win, Orange County. And it's like, and all your friends and fans and your peers are gonna be dependent on you. They get of you dethroning me, and that pressure is getting right through, like right inside your pulp, like it is making you cool as a cucumber. Like yeah, like. I'm gonna have to make an example out of you, Orange. And I'm gonna do that exactly on November 23rd at Full Gear, and I will make an example out of you, Orange Cassidy. Like I'm gonna brutalize you, like Orange Cassidy. I'm like, I don't think you're gonna brutalize him. Like even if you do retain, I don't think that you're gonna beat him in a juicy mess. This is where. And that's where it is. Like I'm gonna beat him so bad. Also, I'm also gonna beat him so bad. His mother's not gonna even recognize him. I'm like, how are you gonna turn him into a different fruit? Like when he's already one fruit. Like so, like how does that make sense? Like you're gonna make him unrecognizable to a woman that gave birth to him. But this is where then I was like, let's be logical, John Moxley. I believe even if he does get beaten down bad, I think he's still gonna be recognizable Like, I think he's just exaggerating because he's been drinking. Like I said, for the 1,000th time, I know it's getting very annoying, but it's the facts. Like, that city is not to be trusted. But anyways, that's where we got John Moxley. Like you call yourself a contender? Like you will be something in this business. Like, you will see that in the middle of, like, you gonna come in, whatever the hell that you. And AEW, because I come in the AEW World Championship. Like, if we have the power, and then this is where then he dropped the mic. No, not yet. This is where he stopped talking for like 5 seconds, and that's when Orange Cassidy came out because he, like on the rules, he called him out, and then he mentioned him by name. At least is where Orange Cassidy then came right up on the stage. He had a microphone on his hand. This is where he was like, like. This is where it did. That's where Orange Cassidy was like, hello, John. This is where fans start saying his nickname, which is Freshly Squeezed, because he was about to offer him some very cool, very delicious, refreshing, and purified orange juice to disinfect that dirty liquid they've been drinking in their system from Cincinnati, which was probably for the best if Orange Cassidy did so. And this is where fans start chanting Freshly Squeezed, which I start saying along with them. This is where he brought in some friends, which was Mark Briscoe and what's his name, Rocky Romero from the conglomeration. This is where Orange Cassidy then said hello to them. This is where he's like, I want to come out here and give some to John, like along. I want to give John these delicious orange juice, and also I want to let him know that I agree with everything you just said right in the ring. Like, and I believe him as well. Like, and I can John, I believe what all the things what you said you was going to do. I was like, maybe he has a point, but I don't think he's entirely going to be doing like some drastic measures in order to prove his point. Even though he could get the victory, but still not going to prove his point. But this is where we got Orange Cassidy's like, yeah, but he was like, but that's what's in that briefcase. Like, you see, like the symbol, like ever since AEW, like that represents me, like ever since that represents us and represents all these people here in All Elite Wrestling. And that's where Orange Cassidy continues, like, and it represents everything what professional wrestling can also be. Like, it's that, and it needs power. Like, you hold the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. And that's why I was wondering, like, what's in that silver briefcase? Maybe it's that water that he's been drugging to everybody by putting inside people's drinks, like in order to act exactly like him. Damn, Moxley, like you're worse than Jeffrey Dahmer. But this is where then we got Orange Cassidy. But anyways, yeah, this is where we got Orange Cassidy continues like, yeah, you got robbed everybody all around this building. He's like. You've been fighting everybody in this building, including in catering, and find the weakest link in the business, and I believe he apologized to one of them in particular, which I assume it was JD Drake. But this is where we got Orange Cassidy, but it does not matter because. Like, the only way to become AEW World Champion, Mox, is by wrestling in that ring. And then for a guy who does not like to wrestle, but I wrestle more than everybody else here. And I was like, yeah, that's true because, like, the one person you see here every week, 3 days out of the week to be the exact, is Orange Cassidy. Like, what if it's on Dynamite, Rampage, Collision? He shows up. Like, he's a loyal employee of the company. I'll say one of the most loyal employees, let me rephrase that, along with others, like in particular. But this is where we got Orange Cassidy continues like, yeah, remember I beat you, yeah, and that was for my international championship, and so at Full Gear, like you and I gonna wrestle, and I'm gonna beat you again. And this is where the fans like, you tell it, Orange, and that's why I'm agreeing, exactly. Hopefully, this underdog promo is going to help him do in order to pull off an upset. But looking at realistically, it looks like John Moxley's still going to remain as champion until somebody higher power than Moxley is in order to dethrone him for that belt. But until then, we're going to be seeing it. But that's what Orange Cassidy but now, since we're playing checkers and then maybe eventually chess and all these board games, like there's still a couple of pawns like that I need to get rid of. Like one pawn in particular that I need to throw away. And that is you, Willa Yuta, like you little traitor. And this is where Willa Yuta's like a pawn. Like who you calling a pawn? Like you were the one that's the pawn. And this is where the Orange Cassidy didn't let him know next week on the Go Home edition of Dynamite they will wrestle in a match. And then this is where the Orange Cassidy continues like, and then he's going to remove the pawn like. That lets him that's gonna take the key to success, and this is what Orange Cassidy's like. I'm not. But the thing is, I'm not allowing you the key of success, and that's where I didn't look at Willie with Claudio Castagnoli. Like, can we shut him up now? This is where Claudio Castagnoli is like, just give us. Yes, but wait until another 5 minutes because John Mox, or the master has to say something, or Master Mox, or whatever he wants to call him, has something to say. This is where John Moxley then said, look, Orange, let's see, he was like, yeah, you know what? Like, you're on to something, Orange. Like that's gonna be our first test. Let's see if you can pull the trigger onto a guy that you think that is your friend. No matter what happened, but no matter what happens, like at Full Gear, I only got one message for you, one message for your friends, one for anybody else here in this bin. I think that once a day I got, even the guys I used to hang out and used to call brothers over at the other company, which that includes them as well, but they don't have nothing to do with him, let alone in his company, because they just think he was just an imaginary friend, like my boy the Great One said. But that's where we got, that's where the John Mox number 22, I am gonna bend all hope for all those underdog boys. I think that can take me on. This is where then we got Marina Shafir and John Moxley left in the back entrance. It's where they gave the hand signal to what's the name, Claudio and Willa Yuta, while saying something right on the camera. We did not know what was said, but luckily he got brought down by the Daredevil himself right off the top of the little ramp onto the little side that little side railing right onto the top side railing on the top of the audience is where it was none other than Darby Allin. Is where he did fly with a skateboard right on top of Claudio and what's his name, John Moxley. But this is where he jumped right on top of Claudio, started hitting some right hands to the face, thinking that's going to knock the sensitive, which I don't think that's what's going to happen. Like, they have to drink something that's purifying. That's what's going to make them back to normal. But this is where Marina Shafir trying to grab John Moxley right off grab Darby Allin right off of Claudio, but this is where she was like he's too heavy for being a small guy. But this is where John Moxley never mind Claudio, he can fight him off. Worry about me. And this is where this is where Maria Shafir's all right, master. And this is where they ran out of there. This is where we got the conglomeration that came in. It was Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and what's his name? Rocky Romero. This is where we got Marina Shafir. Then this is where Marina Shafir then hit him in the back of his head with a briefcase, which had me dying with laughter. This is where she just walked. This is where she had the Death Riders run out of the exit. This is where Darby Allin would stop fighting, though, and this is where he gets hit with the briefcase right in the midsection. This is where they ran out of there in the building, right into their pickup truck, they made a runaway. This is where Orange Cassidy tried to come in for the save, but he came too late. This is where Darby Allin was like, this won't be the last time you see me. And this is where he turned into the next Frankie Kazarian in AEW, when he used to be the Elite Hunter, when he was back in 2021, when he was trying to hunt down Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. He's doing the same with the Death Riders. Now he's called the Rider Hunter, I guess you could say, or the Death Hunter, the Death Rider Hunters. Let me know in the comment section right down below what you think Darby Allin is. He's trying to seek some revenge for not only himself, but everybody, because he is unselfish, of course. But yeah, this is where then Darby, the shout at him saying, this won't be the last time you see me or any of us, because we will be tasting the victory of revenge, and then is where or justice, I should say. That's the better term of the use of it. Like we will taste the victory of justice. And I was saying, like, I hope we do see the victory of justice. And Orange County finally give them some orange juice to get them back to normalcy and not be back into the back like they were when they taste that water from that horrible city in the United States, which is the C word, which I'm not going to be saying no more because I promise you, assassin, that I won't. But this is where we move on to the next slide. This is where we got a backstage interview with the Learning Tree. This is where we got Chris Jericho, which is the teacher of the Learning Tree, while we got Brian Keith of the Bad Apple and Redwood Big Bill. This is where we saw Renee Paquette, we got the Learning Tree. So now, without any further ado, would she disrespectfully, from one wrestler to another wrestler to another whole wrestler, which is Chris Jericho, which she should have showed some respect. And if she was a male journalist, I believe Brian Keith would have whooped her ass. But of course, he's a gentleman, so he's not going to be doing that unless there's like a female member of the Learning Tree. And I wish there was one, especially one in particular, which I'm not sure if I should mention them by name. But this is where we got, yeah, bro. This is where we got, yeah. But it's where then yet again, she did not learn anything from somebody pointing out her journalist skills, even from MVP showing her how it's done. But she decided to do the complete opposite because there's something wrong with her, mentally, I guess you could say, thanks to her husband, the Deaf Rider leader. That's the AEW World Champion himself. But and where she just got to the cut to the chase, which sometimes you shouldn't be doing that, just to show some respect to the person you're interviewing. This is where she's at, Tomohiro Ishii then challenge him for the Ring of Honor Championship, which that is very intriguing. But she should have said, welcome to the interview. Even if she does not like how the way he acts, why is that's the case? Because he's very entertaining. Is this Learning Tree dude? This is where she was like, yeah, you will be facing him 2 weeks on the post-show Dynamite in Chicago. And I was like, what is up with AEW shows? Some of the AEW shows in particular being the AEW Dynamite shows, when it's the post-show, after a pay-per-view there in Chicago. I guess they're trying to do some insults to injuries to that certain wrestler that used to have been in the company, which I'm not sure if I should mention him by name. But this is where we got. This is where he's I want to ask you what y'all's answers of the Ishii's challenge, which I cannot wait to see that match. It's going to be very entertaining to see. But this is where we got Big Bill was saying, the challenge that you brought Mr. Ishii, as the Learning Tree always says, a person's true self is not seen in moments of glory, it's more hardship and and it's more of a challenge. And this is where then Chris Jericho gets well said, Redwood. And thank you for quoting what's today's word in the Learning Tree. And what we have to say to our rival, Mr. Tomohiro. And this is where he's and thank you, Renee. I got. And this is where he's and I have a soft spot for you, Mr. Ishii, because we've known each other for almost 30 years. We both were. And he was when we used to work in that one wrestling promotion in Japan in our independent days, and he's and I'll be I was a huge man of the. And he was I was the huge star while you were just nothing but just a rookie at that time. And he's you're just a young boy, used to getting coffee and carrying my badge and then wash my back on the shower, which that was probably too much information with all due respect to the Learning Tree teacher. But yeah, no disrespect. I'm not trying to be the one to judge, but I would not be a guy that would wash another man's back. If it's not my own back that I'm washing in the bathtub, I'm not going to be doing nobody else's back. That's just a little, I'll say creepy, in my opinion. I hope that doesn't sound like an insult. More likely an honest opinion. But But yeah, this is where we got Chris Jericho then continues like, yeah, Ishii, like you go on become one of the toughest and the most powerful pro wrestlers in the world. Like, and I should know because it was only 2 years ago. Like, then we had a classic match, like one of my favorite AEW and one of the toughest we ever had in the business. Like, which it was us in Chicago when the last time I was the Ring of Honor World Champion. And it was like actually it was around this time of the year in 2022. Yeah. Because when the last time he was the Ring of Honor champion, it was back in November. Yeah, back in 2022. But now it's November 2024. Like history repeats itself. And I believe they were in Chicago at that time, which is but something just tells me like maybe we can see something that's the total opposite since it happened a couple years ago, and I totally forgot this happened because I did watch this episode of Dynamite in particular. This is where we got like. And this was like, yeah, like we will face each other like over 700 days later, like, and I do accept your challenge, Mr. Ishii. Like, yeah, like for the Ring of Honor World Championship, like Jericho and Ishii, like we're gonna be doing bigger, better things as well, because now, like, I become the what he said, the Nevi, I'm not sure what he said, but he did the little butterfly hand gesture along with his students, Brian Keith and Big Bill, which that had me dying with laughter, which I'm giving them a silver trophy for that, like, because MVP gets #1, but this is where we got Chris Jericho's like, yeah, I'm a 2-time Ring of Honor champion, just like Mark's brother, late Jay Briscoe, and I'm going to keep this fame alive, like, and dedicate this match to him by dedicating this match to him against his brother's teammate, and that is you, Mr. Ishii. And he's like, and it's like, and I'm gonna, and he's not the only guy that I'm gonna be dedicating this to. I'm gonna do it to every other Ring of Honor champions before Ring of Honor previously in the history of the promotion for the last 22 years. And like, I'm talking about, yeah, like him, and he named a couple of guys, but it's where which I cannot totally remember right now, but it's where Chris Jericho then said like I am going to. That's where then he said, like, yeah, I'm gonna teach you all this, like in the lesson that you will never soon to forget, ever, ever, ever again. This where then Brian Keith confirmed with Chris Jericho's statement by saying, "Ishii, like at Windy City, like you are gonna like Chris Jericho gonna knock your." Well, he said like he said something about his dumb ass. Like he's like Ishii, like at Windy City, like Chris Jericho he's gonna blow your dumb ass away. That's what he said. He's gonna blow Ishii's dumb ass away. And this is where I start dying with laughter. Yeah, definitely second silver trophy of the night. Unfortunately, yeah, like the first one definitely had me more dying, like which was MVP, calling out Renee Paquette's journalism. So he gets #1. #2 goes to Brian Keith, Bad Apple, saying like he's gonna blow his dumbass away. Well, I wouldn't say Ishii's a dumbass. Like that's their words, but I'll say he is very tough though. Like it's not gonna be an easy match, but I'm not sure like who's gonna win, but maybe it could be Chris Jericho to retain, like to add another person on this list that he beaten, of his dominance as Ring of Honor champion. But I think it's gonna be outside interference, and I don't mean that by disrespect. I mean that by with respect with Brian Keith. This is where he's like, yeah. And then this is where Chris Jericho's like, yeah, those are true words from and it's never gonna be said again, like because we have us double state our words again, you will get got. And well, he didn't say you will get got, but this is where he let them know that they will be facing the consequences of their actions with him following that up by saying goodbye to everybody, by thanking everybody. Thanks, guys. And I'm like, yeah, this guy is the best wrestling personality and wrestler of all time. like along with his students, especially Brian Keith. That's where we got Big Bill give a big thumbs up. But this is where they went right back to the next match, which this was very intriguing as well. Another very entertaining match, which was none other than Dr. Brett Baker, DMD, taking on the delusional Penelope Ford, like her husband Kip Sabian, and their colleagues John Moxley and Renee Paquette. But it's where, yeah, luckily, like we saw the right person won this match. But and I know I'm kind of sounding biased tonight, but I'm just telling you how I felt, and if you felt something different, like I don't blame you for being so, because regardless, all these wrestlers did their part tonight, and they're gonna get a high rating on the SNA podcast, like when it comes to the reality side of things. But this is where we got. Here's where we got Britt Baker goes for a wrist lock, going for a hammer lock. This is where she tried to go for to a snapmare. This is where then she tried to go for what's that called, a crucifix pin. But this is where we got what's her name not Kip Sabian, his wife Penelope Ford kicked out of the maneuver. This is where we got this is where the Britt Baker's like, okay, like you're. Like I'm not underestimate you on that. Like, yeah, you impressed me onto that. This is where then she tried to go for a grappling maneuver, but this is where it instantly got countered into a wrist lock by Penelope Ford. This is where she turned to a wrist lock, but this is where we got what's her name? Britt Baker goes for a wrist lock of her own. This is where she tried to go for a forearm strike. This is where she gets blocked, hit with a forearm right into her face. But this is where Britt Baker then clocked her with an elbow strike right into her face, making Penelope Ford roll out of the ring and taking a breather. This is where then what's her name? Britt Baker's get back over here. This is where then Penelope Ford like, well, you gotta catch me first. Like if she's still 6 years old playing a game of tag. This is where she was like, "Ha, I got you," and this is where she was like, "Got me with what?" And this is where she's like, "I'm in the base," but this is where then Britt Baker's like, "That's not the base. That's the playing field. Like what's base is the right by the ring post. Is where then Penelope Ford then went exactly in that area. She's like, okay, like I'm in base now. This is where then the referee's like, get back in the ring. This is where then Penelope Ford like, no, like I'm in the base right now. This is where Britt Baker corrected her. It's like, no, like I said, the bottom right corner side of the ring post. Like, but this is where she grabbed her by her head. This is where she tried to bring her back in, but she gets tripped right over by the 2-year absent women's wrestler Penelope Ford by slamming her right into the apron. This is where she has a big elbow strike right onto the doctor wrestler slash dentist, I guess you could say. This is where then we got Penelope Ford going up right up on the top rope on the bottom corner apron. She goes for the double knees right into the midsection. This is where then we got Penelope Ford like. Like this is where then she picks up the doctor. This is where then we got her to start kneeing her right into her face, right into the bottom ropes. This is where then we got Penelope Ford got thrown right into the bottom. Penelope Ford threw Britt Baker right into the bottom left side, started stomping onto her. This is where then. Now, this is where we got Britt Baker going for a headlock. This is where then we got that's where then she sent what's her name? Penelope Ford right into the right corner side. This is where then she went up right on top of her. This is where then she started going for a couple of right hands right into the face onto Penelope Ford. This is where she started trying to do her DMD hand movement, Majiggy, but this is where she gets tripped over. Face first, right into Tina the turnbuckle on the bottom right side. This is where then we got like with her getting a hit right in the jaw, which that looked very unfortunately painful. This is where we got what's her name? Penelope Ford, and went right to the opposite side, the upper right corner side, going for a cartwheel to a backflip, hits a backdrop right to the midsection. This is where then she runs right to the top corner, or no, with the elbow right to that exact same jaw line. This is where she hits her boot right to the exact same jaw as well. This is where she starts trying to twist her sideways. This is where Britt Baker pushes her right off. This is where she goes right to the bottom corner rope, trying to go for a clothesline, but this is where Penelope Ford did a very impressive backsliding duck, like into like a drawbridge, try to go for a Pele kick, but Oh no, she hit a back cutter. That's what she hit right on to Britt Baker. But that's where she tried to go for a pin. But that's where Britt Baker kicked out of it. That's where then she. But that's where we got Britt Baker to try to go for twisting drift away neck break. This is where did she did put on her dental glove on her special custom dental glove that she always used to hit the lockjaw on her opponents in AEW while her doing her DMD gesture. This is where we thought the end is near was there, but unfortunately it wasn't because Penelope Ford came from behind and drop kicked the dentist right into the bottom corner ropes. That's where she bounced right into do them and went right to the middle of the ring. That's where we got Penelope Ford and trying to go for the what's that like twisting Britt Baker's legs. This is where she's trying to hit like a neck breaking submission hold, like with her on the ground with her. But this is where Britt Baker flipped right out of it with all her strength. It was a complete miracle from DMD. This is where then Britt then turned into the jaw the lock jaw, like which it took her about an extra 10 seconds in order to do to put her away, but she made her tap out, which this was the end of the match. Winner of this match, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. And even though this was not like a storyline match or any kind of feud between the two in some capacity, but this lead up into a potential feud though at the same time, and also this was it's a feud that we haven't seen like was presented in AEW television in over a month since October. But this is where we got. But this is where we. But before I get into that, this match gets fifth place of the red ribbon. If we didn't have any other matches that was like, I'll say that was like that. That was more like that was very intriguing and well invested. Like I would give this like at least the fourth or third place spot like of the night. But this is where we got Serena D that came out because we haven't seen this feud and they finally revisit this because both the professor and the doctor have unfinished business they need to discuss. And not have anything to do with something like medically or what's that called what's that other thing or scientifically, like it's just like something like something that has something to do with something to do with this squared circle, and that is a match, which I don't think we ever seen these two in a match, and if so it was probably once, but that was like I said at the beginning of a month of October when we saw them in the match. I think Britt Baker won that match and she got ambushed from behind by what's her name what's her name? Serena Deep, and she got saved by Queen Aminata because Queen Aminata is very generous, and you can always count on her because she's loyal to the core. But this is where we got moving on. We got moving on forward, we got But I want to ask you this question: like, do you want to see a part two of this match between Britt Baker and Serena Deeb? And where do you want this match to take place? Do you think it should be like at Full Gear or another occasional event? Let me know down in the comment section right down below. But this is where we got. But this is where, I'm not gonna say much about with only just the returning of Mina Shirakawa. Unfortunately, wasn't inside the ring, or fortunately, I'm not sure what to say about this. But yeah, this is where we got her in the ring. This is where she was like, "Yeah, it's good to be back here, and now it's time to celebrate." And I'm like, hopefully, it's not gonna be in an inappropriate manner. But this is where we got what's her name? Harley Cameron then challenged her into a match at AEW Full Gear, AEW Collision this Saturday, which I believe is going to be pre-taped tomorrow, which you can get your tickets right now in Albany, New York, if you're in the area. But this is where something actually inappropriately did happen, and that was a TIT shake when both Harley and Mina started shaking their cleavage right in front of the camera. And the only thing that Renee Paquette got right of doing is trying to block and say, all right, enough, like not over here, not now. Like, and I was like, yeah, you finally got something right on tonight's AEW Dynamite, Renee. Like, what is up with you? Like, but still, like, I have to agree with this because this is getting very creepy. And yeah, like, I'm not sure if nobody wants to see any of that. Like, unless you're from Reddit or Twitter. Like, and you're going to keep posting that on your private anonymous accounts. But yeah, let me know about that in the comment section right now. Who do you think is going to win? I'm putting my money on Mina, which I think they're probably going to be doing a build-up between her and Mariah May, and when it comes to something like serious in the matter. Like, but yeah. But the only thing that Mina Shirakawa, luckily she did not do, is do the C word, which I'm not sure why I even brought that up in the first place. Like, there's probably kids watching this podcast video, so I better watch my words carefully when I say them. But yeah, let's move on to the next slide. We got the one of the best matches of the night, like which was I'll say back to back, bangers, I guess you could say, and I mean that like when it comes to success, like when it comes to being the best matches of the night, which would start off with Swerve Strickland and Lio Rush, and then the second one, FTR versus the House of Black. But it's where Prince Nana tried to bring up a spirit bomb, because normally when he does this, like when the fans start chanting Swerve House with him, like he always wins matches like these, or even like main event level caliber matches. This is where he was like, whose house? The fans were chanting Swerve's house, like until once they got done chanting Swerve's house. This is where then they start going at it with some headlocks, grapples, but this is where But this is where we got Swerve Strickland, Irish Whip to the corner. But this is where Lio Rush stopped himself from running right through the ropes. This is where he then took a breather. This is where Swerve Strickland, like, why you need one? What's the best story? Like, you curd chicken, sugar, honey, iced tea, are you? And no, he was not talking about a chicken dinner with a side of a refreshing beverage. But this is where then we got, Lio Rush was like, of course not. I'm not turning chicken on you. This is where then he tried to go for a clothesline, but this is where he gets tripped right over by Swerve Strickland. He's trying to go for a pin, but he hardly got a one. This is where we saw Lio Rush and him got back up. He got Lio Rush flipping out of a back suplex. That's where it was about to hit and execute onto the man of the hour. But he pushes him right to the right side. That's where we got Lio Rush then waiting for him to come his way. But it's where Swerve Strickland did a pretty cool cartwheel flip right in midair. Just where then he's like, well, what you got? This is where we got Lio Rush to try to show him what he has. This is where he then did the same thing. With this is where Swerve Strickland, like, you had to copy off me, but this is where he's like, no, man, like you did look pretty impressive. This is where he tried to go for a kick, but this is where we got Swerve Strickland missing by an inch. This is where we got Lio Rush run right to the right corner side. Swerve try to close on him, but this is where then Lio Rush then start dunking left, right, left. This is where then we're right in the midsection. This is where we got Lio Rush springboarding right off the top. This is where he tried to go for a springboard curb stop. Swerve Strickland then move right out of the way, right on time. Smart move from the former AEW World Champ. This is where he nearly dived onto him, but this is where Lio Rush did a backflip while Swerve did a front flip right on the outside. I'm like, how the hell these guys are doing this? Like, yeah, this is why this is getting the number one best match spot of the night. Like, because these guys can know how to bring the E into entertainment, even though the E and AEW don't stand for that, obviously. But this is where Swerve Strickland was like, yeah, like, all right, like now it's time to be serious. Now this is where we got Lio Rush. Who you telling to be serious to? This is where he started breaking Swerve in the eyes. This is where the referee's like, all right, like stop. Like that's where he told him by warning him like in a 5-second DQ warning, which I was like, why are you giving them a 5-second warning when Swerve's not hanging onto the rope? Like this is a general disqualification maneuver. Like, and this this is where Lio Rush let go of his hands into Swerve's face after raking him in the eye. And where it's like, I'm just the appetizer, right, compared to Bobby Lashley, but I'm still gonna give you a preview of a beating that my man Bobby is gonna do to you. This is where Lio Rush trying to hit Swerve right in the face with on the announce table. But this is where we got Swerve Strickland then put his foot right on the Allen. He threw him right into Aaron, the apron, right into the left, right to their left and our right, because it's the right side of the apron, and that is the hardest part of the ring, like a place you do not want to get hit with any of your body parts. But that's where we got But this is where the Prince now like stay on the target. I swerve, and this is where the swerve's like, yeah, it's like I know, I see Leo, like even though he damn near blinded me with my by trying to poke out my right eye. This is where Swerve went up right up on the top of the upper right corner side turnbuckle. Leo rushed and tried to go for a springboard flip, but this is where he trips and stumbled and landed right into the family jewel. I'm like, and it was like, I'm like, that was so painful. And I was like, it seemed like that his daughter will not be having a younger sibling anytime soon, and I'm not sure why I brought it up in such specifics like that. Even though I didn't went too much into detail, and it's best to keep it that way. It was probably not best to even mention the part about his older daughter in the first place. But this is where then we got But this is where then we got Leo Rush to start taunting Prince Nana, like and then he's still continuing to have the offense against the former AEW World Champion. Like, and this is where then he brought him back in the ring. This is where every move he tried to hit on Swerve, it just turns against him, and you always keep getting 2.999, 999, double triple nine minus 0.1 away from being 3. This is where Swerve Strickland took a breather right to the right side. This is where Prince Nana's like, you got the Swerve, and this is where he starts shouting to the fans like, we need to start motivating Swerve. The only way to do that is to chant who's house. This is where he starts saying like, repeat after me, who's house? And this is where fans start chanting Swerve's house, like repeatedly right onto him, like who's house, Swerve's house. And even a kid in the audience was even following Prince Nana's lead by saying who's house, while the rest of the fans are chanting Swerve's house. This is where we got Leo Rush to try to go for a slide Hurricane Rana right onto Alan the announce table. But this is where Swerve caught him, and this is where he picks him up, buckle bombs him right onto some of the steel steps. But before he can even attempt to, or even land him right into the steel steps with him in the position, this is where Leo Rush flipped right out of the maneuver. This is where Leo Rush then hit, try to go for some kind of a pop-up drop kick. But this is where Swerve Strickland did not fall for the trap. Pop him up right onto the center of the steel steps. That's where then he landed right on top of the steps, jumped right on the Swerve's shoulders, and hits the most dangerous and brutalizing and unforgiving. What's that? Poison Rana that I've ever seen in professional wrestling. Like even Leo Rush even doing this before, like, and he landed like so hard and went right in his head. I was like, I hope Swerve's head or neck, head and or neck is doing fine after that. Like, hopefully he didn't suffer no damages, I guess you could say. But that's where he just hit it hard, like, oh, like, this is where I was like, ow, like, he directly landed right in his head. Like, hopefully he's okay, like, after taking such hit and bump. But this is where we got, what's his name? Leo Rush then following that up with a suicida. This is where then Leo Rush then go for a frog splash. This is where then we got him going for a pin on the Swerve. But this is where he kicks out at 2.8. This is where Leo Rush is like, oh, come on, man. And this is where then we got, he's like, 2? Like, that should have been 3. And this is where the referee's like, no, like, that was 3. This is where Leo Rush then try to go for a springboard stunner. Swerve Strickland count out. This is where I believe try to hit him with big pressure. But this is where we got, that's where Leo Rush then flip right out of it, start elbowing him right to the midsection. But that's where we got Swerve to start elbowing him right to his side. That's where Leo Rush then turn into a wheelbarrow flip into a pinfall, which was kind of like the most devastating move in all of professional wrestling. But it was a what's that called? What's that wheelbarrow roll up? But this is where, like, once he got him flipped right over, it looked like he was about to win because he had some extra help with his left hand holding on to the bottom rope. But this is where Prince Nana told the referee, like, hey, ref, like, see, look what Leo's doing. This is where the referee's like, what? And this is where he's like, oh, you cannot do that, Leo. Like, and this is where he's like, what are you doing? This is where he thanked Prince Nana, but this is where Swerve Strickland tried to go for a wheelbarrow flip right on his own. But it's where he turned it into the big pressure, which I believe he got a guaranteed of. Or did he? Or no, before he can even attempt to do the move, it was immediately interrupted by Leo Rush. This is where then he hit the spinning kick, insecurity kick, right onto the head, onto Swerve, into like in schoolboy position. That's where That's where we got what's the name? Leo Rush try to go for like a springboard, like poison rana, but but Swerve Strickland reminded him he already did this maneuver, and you know what that means, and that is not a guaranteed, and that's Swerve Strickland showed him by picking him up, hit him with the guaranteed big pressure. Was it? Yeah, he did. He flipped him right over out of the poison rana, big pressured him in the interception for a 1-2-3. And the winner of this match, Swerve Strickland, and the winner of, and yeah, I want to give a humongous congratulations on to the winner of the pre-match main event, I guess you could say, which is going to be timed as the first golden trophy place of the night with FTR versus House of Black, the real main event match of the night. Man, this is where Swerve Strickland was like, okay, like I'm not completely satisfied with Prince Nana was because he won and make a statement. This is where he's like, Bobby. And where he's like, it's where Prince Nana was like, whose house? And then fans start chanting Swerve's house. Where he's like, it seems like everybody like in here is all happy and. He was like, it seems like everybody's happy here, but you know what? I feel and see that like everybody wants a shot at on a shot at the former AEW World Championship by making their presence known and trying to take me out and then trying to get a piece of some kind of success, like or not success. I'll say what is that like they want a piece of the former AEW World Champion. That's where it's like, and they want they want my accomplishments, my my legacy, my accomplishments, my accolades, and my resume, like the prove a point. Like they want to use that to prove a point to me, by calling me out and challenging me in a match. And I was like, yeah, like what is up with that? Like I would expect for everybody to be picking Bobby Lashley like as well. Like even if they do challenge you, Swerve, like they should do the same with someone like Bobby. But that's gonna be a different conversation for a different day. But this is where we got Swerve to continue but yeah, like for Leo, for an example, like he tried to do that, like trying to get in order to get some like a part of me to try to get ahead. But look what happened to him. Like he unsuccessfully failed in the run. Like it is where this where Strickland then pointed out that Shelton Benjamin did the exact same thing a couple weeks ago at Friday night. He's like, he tried to make a name out of my name, and he got laid down as well. And then this is where Swerve and continued saying like it seemed like it's like, and I think I'm keep going down the list, like, and letting people know like whose house it literally is, and this is where fans start chanting Swerve's house, and this is where Swerve Strickland then say like, and that leads for you, Mr. Lashley. Like it seems like one lead for Saturday, like we got full queue, like but I don't know, like Stamford, Connecticut. Like I feel like that these people are fighting for them tonight, and this is where they call out Bobby Lashley. This is where they came out. Like it was, but the only person that was missing was none other than the head of the complaint department of the Hurt Syndicate. Like it was none other than Shelton Benjamin. This is where I was like, I'm surprised. Like he said his name, so he should have joined the rest of the Hurt Syndicate group, like with Bobby and MVP. But it's where it was only just the two, that Bobby and Montel. This is where then. It is where it is where then MVP then start off by saying like yeah, you and Bobby Lashley are alike, and the reason why we recruited you like because I want to see you reach more stuff in your potential, like. And this is where MVP was like, but one of the things like I want to teach you like this way try to find this is where he was like trying to find the best positive and safe way to put it, but he was like, "No, I'm not sure if the best way." But this is where Bobby Lashley was getting ready to take all take everything off of him that's professional to get ready to get loose and it's get into fist fight with Swerve Strickland. This is where like. And this is where the MVP's like, oh, excuse me, my bad, Bobby. It seemed like the Almighty's ready to fight right now. And this is where then he was absolutely was new about this. This is where he was like, he's like, you and there's a lesson you need to learn, Swerve, and you haven't learned it, Swerve. Like this is where Swerve's like, I don't think I need to learn it. Like in order to make a statement, what exactly I'm gonna be doing like in 10 days from now. This is where where MVP added say like. Right, but you're gonna learn that lesson tonight, and that's when we finally seen the chief of the complaint department of the Hurt Syndicate, and that's none other than Shelton Benjamin that came from behind and attacked him, and this is where he knocked Swerve Strickland right down. This is where he starts stomping onto Swerve. This is where he picks up the former AEW World Champion, sends him onto the outside. This is where Swerve Strickland gets clobbered with a devastating clothesline by the powerhouse and almighty. This is where Bobby Lashley picks up Swerve Strickland. Irish whips the former champ right into the barricade right on the top corner. This is where then he Uranagi slammed him and then he flatlined him right into the ground like with that reverse version of the STO. I'm not STO, the Uranagi. This is where then we got Shelton Benjamin was blocking Prince Nana. He's like, what are you gonna do about it? Like little highness. And this is where then Prince Nana, I'll show you what I'm going to do. And this is where then this is where Shelton Benjamin, all right, prove it. This is where but this is where before Prince Nana can do anything, this is where we got Bobby Lashley through his client Swerve Strickland, right, or his or I'll say ally, I guess you could call him. This is where he threw him right in the ring. This is where then you got Shelton. This is where then Shelton Benjamin hits him with the DDT. This is where then that's where MVP did grab on the Prince Nana before he can make an exit. That's where he started choking him with his cane, which is starting to not getting, never getting old. Like, and it's probably not going to be anytime soon. That's where he started choking him out, like with the cane. That's where this Bobby Lashley picked up Swerve Strickland, hit him with the hurt lock, like onto him, or the full Nelson lock, whatever it's called. Is where he started putting Swerve to sleep. This is where we got. But this is where they were about to leave, but this is where they saw Prince Nana was back in the ring. This is where we saw no, I don't what am I even saying, but what am I saying? I meant to say we got what's his name? Bobby Lashley spotted Prince Nana with him getting right back up after getting choked out by his Hurt Syndicate ally MVP. This is where he's like he's back up. This is where MVP's like, take care of the job. And this is where Bobby Lashley absolutely did so by getting back in the ring. This is where then we got Bobby Lashley picks up Prince Nana. This is where that's where he threw Prince Nana right into Tina the Turnbuckle in the middle rope. This is where he went right through the rope. And then he went right to the outside. This is where the referee's like, what the hell you did, Bobby? Like he could be paralyzed after taking such a hit like that. He's not like it's one thing doing it with Swerve, but his manager, that's completely helpless and powerless. This is not this is totally unacceptable. Basically, this is where then Leo Rush did a grin, kind of teasing that he could join the Hurt Syndicate and replace that other guy that's over at the other company that wrestled last night and that could turn heel over in that company's developmental show that used to team with these three guys, but now he's back onto the developmental show, which he lost to a guy in a certain qualifying match, but yeah. but their theme song, I'm not sure if I'm a fan of the Hurt Syndicate's theme song, but it's very funny, and I don't mean that in an insulting way. I find that in a very I'll say respectful way, but yeah, it's basically them saying we hurt people. That's pretty much they do in AEW, like they did over to the other company, which I'm not going to name them by name, but yeah, it's very funny. But I would have preferred the a similar theme song like they had over at that company because it had that have the beats like of like when like with of somebody that's about to come out and start doing a beating on somebody like that's what pretty much their gimmicks are like with them like just taking care of business of making money and kicking people's butts like that's pretty much their organization's all about like pretty much like hitman but instead of using guns or knives or swords they use fists like to beat them up like they're the beatmen I guess you could call them if that's a word but this is where we got Renee Paquette in the backstage interview with Jamie Hayter next. This is where she this is where then this is where then Jamie Hayter was being nice and complimenting Renee Paquette, which I was like, I guess it's for the better, like to try to be the peacemaker by saying like you were looking matching right now, Renee. This is where Renee was like right back at you, Jamie, which Hayter did look absolutely smashing in her outfits. Like she knows how to dress, like, and she's starting to looking like a certain female wrestling man, I guess you could say, like that's over at the other company, like or that used to be on the other company. I'm not sure if I should name her by name, even if it's her real name, but it's where then and that's where there's like what's next for Jamie Hayter after you defeated the Penelope Ford a week ago, and this is where Jamie Hayter's like, yeah, that's exactly what everybody say because like, did you not think I was going to win last week? Which I was saying, like, that's a good question. Like, why don't you ask the confused, unmarkable journalist that? Like, because like, who knows what's in the mind of hers? Like, but this is where like when she said that she did not do what she said she's gonna do. What she did do exactly what she said to do. She was a woman of her words. That's what she's like. I did exactly what I was gonna do. Like, yeah, it's no secret. Like, I came back here to right the wrong. And yeah, like I may have gotten a couple of downs, but yeah, like don't we all get down like a couple of times and take an L? But that's gonna matter only in the future. But as for right now, like he was breathing in, breathe out, and he's like, I'm thinking of coming after one like thing, and that is like before she can even name drop it. This is where the lights went out, and this is where I was like, oh, like this is getting very spooky. And then we saw, and this is where we saw what. Saw Julia Hart in a room, like laying in a bed, like I'll say with a blood stain on the side of her heart is, like where the shape of her heart, because considering what her last name is. This is where then she got a phone call by Brody King. This is where then, this is where then, this is where, but this is where then, this is where then Brody. It was Brody King was on the phone. This is where he was asking when she's gonna be coming back. This is where she was like, I'm not sure, like, but I just had the strangest dream, like with before she could even answer, like with somebody hitting her in the heart with a bow and arrow. Like she saw a broken up arrow. I believe was the same arrow she got struck right into the heart by herself, and I believe it was her dark side that broke it up like into bendy pieces, I guess you could say, like which it was dangling, zigzagging, like, and this is where she was like, this is where she hung up the phone with Brody King. This is where then. It's where then whoever that was in her head, like telling her it's time to wake up, like, and it's time for her to come back. This is where she looked in the mirror in the bathroom. This is where she tried to wipe her face off to make sure she's not dreaming or she's going insanity. This is where then she tried to wash off the blood stain off her shirt, like that had had a stainable mark on her. This is where like. And where then something like inside her that was possessing her started screaming, and other spooky stuff was happening. But this where then she looked inside her closet, and it was like, and there she was. It was their dark side. This where then she told her to put her hat on, which she did. This where then she closed her closet. This where they continuing to start to tease like a return, and maybe they're teasing like a Jamie Hayter versus Julia Hart feud before she goes back to the title scene for a championship that she lost like about 7 months ago. Yeah, back in April. Yeah, but But yeah, let me know in the comment section right down below. Like, do you think Jamie Hayter's gonna be your next target? And considering that she interrupted Jamie Hayter's backstage interview, let me know down in the comment section right down below. But we're gonna move on and talk about FTR taking on her male counterparts, Malachi Black and Brody King of the House of Black of their stable, which we're gonna get into right here, right now. Like, that's where we got Private Party came out and sit with the commentator. No, they were sitting. No, they weren't sitting in the commentator. They were sitting right onto the front of on top of the stage near the front entrance, like with in a VIP kind of section, like with them, like with the red rope, like blocking any intruders from getting into them, because like only invited guests are allowed there, and whoever wins will be an invited guest, because they will be joining them and the Outrunners into this Fatal 4-Way match. And whoever wins the El La Faccion Incorporated, like whatever team it's called, and the Acclaim on this Saturday on AEW Collision will be joining whoever wins tonight, Private Party, and the Outrunners in this Fatal 4-Way match a week from the Saturday. But this is where we got, the teams came out. Like, this didn't really take long. This was probably a 20-minute classic, which is totally a back-to-back. Like, despite being not as long as the other matches of the night, but it's still taking the trophy, the second golden trophy home next to Swerve and Leo Rush. Yeah. That is where it started things off with Uncle Dax the Axe and the Hell Dog Brody King, until he tags in what's his name? Tags in Cash the Flash, Uncle Cash the Flash. Let me rephrase that. This is where they start going, spinning back to back. This is where we got Cash Willard then try to go for a headlock, but this is where we got Brody King then hang him right to the bottom corner side. This is where he try to go for a knife edge chop, but this is where we got Cash the Flash then hitting some fists right back and forth, boom, boom, boom. Right on top is where it goes to the upper right corner side. Is where he gets countered. Is where he springboard leap dodges over Brody King, bounce right off the top right corner side turnbuckle. He try to go for a clothesline right on the Uncle Cash the Flash, but he ducks out of it. This is where we got this is where it gets body dropped by Big Brody. This is where Brody King hits a double hand chop, and this is where we saw some that we would never saw in Gunther's Envy list, because we got two guys that are co-members that's going to be number one on Gunther's Envy list. First, it was Brody, and the next guy is none other than your Uncle Dax the Axe, which we haven't saw him did some chops yet, but not yet. That's the key word. Like, he haven't done it yet. Like, we're gonna get to that in just a moment. But this is where we got Malachi Black then gets tagged in. This is where he dips Cash Wheeler right to the right side. To the left side is where we got what's his name? Cash the Flash then countered. Is where he gets slide hurricanrana, like if Malachi Black was his wife. That's on the other company that does slide hurricanranas out of reversal. I believe he was trying to pay tribute to her, which that's the sweetest thing that he could have possibly done. And this is the out of character me just saying that, just to be cool, because at the end of the day, they're just normal people, and they're not nothing that they play on television. Like, when it comes to character side of things, I should say, with him being an evil Dutchman, I guess you could say, or a Dutch destroyer, actually, that's what they call him. But he's still a nice guy that's cool, and in a video game and a comic book nerd, along with his wife, which I'm not sure if I should name drop her as a wrestling name, or even as her or even a real name, but I'm just going to refer her as Malachi Black's wife, I should say. That's where then we got Malachi Black go for a wrist lock, but he ends up getting forearm strike right into the face. But this is where we got what's his name? Cash the Flash, then send him face first right onto the turnbuckle. Tags in Uncle Dax the Axe. This is where then he goes for try to go for a clothesline, but he ends up getting countered into an arm drag by the Malachi Black. This is where then we got Malachi Black go for a wrist lock. This is where we saw Uncle Dax the Axe then try to rake him right into the eyes. This is where we got him got him dip right into the upper right side. Is where then he trying to hang trying to get him to let go, but it's where Malachi Black He's not let go. He was not convinced until the referee counted to 4 when they were leaning right into the upper right corner side ropes and turnbuckle. This is where we got. This is where we saw Dax the Axton go for a knife edge chop right onto Malachi Black, but he hit right onto the turnbuckle. Luckily, that didn't hurt much. But this is where Malachi Black tried to go for a wrist lock, but this is where we got. This is where Dax Hart would go for a knife edge chop. This is where this was the start of him being on the number 1 on the MV list. And 9 times out of 10, he always gives himself a number 1, and I believe he's the most worst enemy like that the Ling General has in the opposite company that in his wrestling career, I guess you could say. And too bad they never had a dream match once when Dax the Axe was still over in that company. But let's hope that they do have a showdown in some capacity. But that's where we got Malachi Black go for a wrist lock right onto Dax the Axe, but this is where he gets dipped right to the bottom corner side. This is where he throws him in the top corner. This is where he ends up getting what they call shoulder tackle by Malachi Black. This is where Malachi Black went right to the bottom corner rope, but he nearly gets body drop. But this is where Malachi Black flipped right out of it. He turns him around, snap mirrors him right towards the right. He tried to go for a leg swiping kick right to the right side, but he ends up putting his leg down Dax the Axe while he did so. But this is where we saw Malachi Black try to go for a knee strike, but this is where Dax the Axe then did a counter out. He tried to hit a right hand. Malachi Black ducks out of the way. That's where he did that sit out, like crossing his legs, saying like too slow, old man. Like, and this is where he's like, is that all you got? And then this is where he's like, yeah, like, give me your best shot. This is where we got Dax the Axe like, you SOB. And this is where he tried to go for a boot right into the face. But this is where Malachi Black got his leg. This is where he then turned into a surprise roll-up, which is the most devastating move in all of pro wrestling. But this is where he Dax the Axe counter out of it. This is where Malachi Black tried to go for a headlock on the Dax Harwood. But this is where he tags in his brother, Uncle Cash Wheeler. This is where he dips Malachi right to the right side. He then slide ducks. But this is where the Cash Wheeler then try to go for a big right hand, but he gets blocked by Malachi Black. He hits a forearm strike right to the face. This is where we got Dax the Axe try to go for some bionic strokes, but this is where Malachi Black hits a right hand to his face. This is where Malachi Black can try to chase after Dax the Axe. He's like, now, like, let's be reasonable. Like, I don't want I don't want to go there, and you leave me no choice or whatever he said. Like, yeah, like, I don't want to do this, but if I have to, I gotta do what I gotta do. This is where trying to go for a flying clothesline. Malachi Black ducks out of the way. This is where it threw Malachi Black off, because we saw him looking toward the left side and back to Malachi once he was stepping right back, looking like he was starting to chicken out, but it was all just a trap because Cash Wheeler came out of nowhere, clotheslining Malachi Black after he ducks out of Dax Harwood's clothesline. Is where he turned the table. This is where they turned the tables. This is where they were in control on the offense side, even for when they were in picture break. This is where we saw. This is where we saw. Dax the Axe go for a headlock, and this is where Malachi Black then countered and did an arm drag onto him. That's where he got back into the. I got back in the number. I got back in the first place, but I mean not for, but in the offense side is where I with Malachi Black, making sure both men were down, when they try to prevent him from tagging in the big man, because if they do tag in the big hell dog, they're in trouble, which it ended up happening anyways. Their plan unfortunately backfired. He tags in Brody King. This is where then we got Brody King started some punches and chops right into the face. This is where he tried to beat Dax Harwood, being number 1 of not only golden but platinum on Gunter's Envy list for some reason. But he ends up getting a tie onto Uncle Dax the Axe. But this is where he goes for a splash right onto first it was Cash Wheeler when he placed him in the bottom left side, and then he got Dax Harwood into the diagonal corner side in the upper right side. This is where we got Brody King. Then did the same onto Cash Wheeler, throwing him right to the upper right corner side. Then try to go for a splash onto both men of FTR. This is where he goes for a belly-to-belly suplex onto Cash Wheeler. Then he did the same with Uncle Dax the Axe. That's where he made him did a running hip attack right onto his own partner and brother, like right to the face. This is where then Brody King had a double cannonball for both men. That's where he tried to go for a pin. But this is where Cash Wheeler amazingly kicked out at 2.8. This is where Brody King was like, oh, come on. Like, this should have been it right there. This is where he tried to go for an avalanche suplex, but luckily Dax Harwood came in and saved his brother from hanging on. This is where he got Cash Wheeler, then did a sunset foot powerbomb, amazingly actually picked him up into a powerbomb position. This is where he tags in Cash Wheeler. This is where he hits a flying hell clothesline. This is where he didn't try to stop Malachi Black by tripping him over. But this is where, even for Cash Wheeler doing that, this is where Brody King still kicked out at the last second of 2.999999999. I'm like, that was very insane. Like, I was not expecting him to actually kick out of that, even though that was like a signature move that he did, that he just did to Dax Harwood. But this is where we got Dax Harwood trying to go for what move was it? Like, oh yeah, it was a suplex slash but that crossbody. I believe this was their second signature they did of the night. And this is where, but before they can even execute it successfully, this is where Malachi Black trips over Cash Wheeler. This is where like Brody King hit the sunset flip style power bomb while Malachi Black hit a top rope moonsault right onto Cash Wheeler. That's where he tried to go for a pin, but Dax Harwood kicked out at the last minute as well. That's where fans start chanting, this is awesome. I totally agreed. This is where they're getting the golden trophy. I wish I could show them. Like, I'm still trying to find it, but this is where we got Cash Wheeler start hitting some right hands right to the face onto not only Malachi, but also to Brody King as well. He sent Malachi Black on the left side, finally got back into their P's and Q's into the offense side. This is where then we got Cash Wheeler tripping over Brody King when he tried to attack him, like right to the bottom right corner side again. But yeah, you know the rules, like the lightning does not strike twice. Like when you successfully do it the first attempt. But what happened? Like what didn't happen the first time, like which they successfully did so with Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood, a top rope suplex, and Cash Wheeler go for a diving splash right into Dax Harwood in the bottom left side, while his brother Cash was in the opposite side, in the bottom right side, in the diving splash, like if it's a diving headbutt. But this is where we got, this is where we got a 1 and got a 2, and we nearly got a 3, and they would have gotten away with this win, and they probably would be getting ready right now to face the Outrunners and Private Party, and maybe even either the Acclaim and El Faction and Incorporated. Like if it wasn't for that meddling Dutch Destroyer that came out of nowhere, game for the save. That's where he knee struck Cash Wheeler. This is where he put Brody King right on top of him. But this is where he only got a 2-point, I'll say 3 count. This is where what's his name? What's his name? I forget. Isaiah Cassidy will probably like, I did not expect that to happen. But that was the best shot from House of Black. Like they're doing their best right now. And I'm very impressed. I'm glad we're the ones that's watching and not have to worry about experience this until 10 days from now. This is where then we got them trying to go for their double team suplex roundhouse kick kind of combination. But luckily, Dax's brother Cash helped him escape out of the maneuver. This is where they ran Brody King right onto his partner, what's his name, Malachi Black. This is where they're about to hit the Shadow Machine, which they nearly were successful of doing. This is where then Malachi Black managed to get right back out of the ring. This is where they nearly had it won, but this is where Malachi Black drags, what's his name? Yeah, Dax Wheeler. Not Dax Wheeler, Dax Harwood right into the bottom corner barricade. This is where he started going for a right hand to the face. Onto Malachi Black, started hitting right hands after right hands after right hand until this is where Malachi Black tried to block him, but most of the hits that he was taking, was not blocked. Like he was trying to do his best, but he let the blows get the better of him until he started fighting back. It's where then he hits a couple of left hands. He did hit a forward roundhouse kick right into the midsection. This is where the Malachi tried to go for a pile driver, which that move is not banned in AEW like the other company, which they're starting to make it like a $50,000 fine for whoever who done it, like their prize fighter did to their Viper. I'll say the residential prize fighter did to their residential Viper, I should say, over at the other company. But this is where we got Dax Harwood trying to take full advantage of hitting this maneuver over this company, because this is where we got this is where he got him right in the position for it, while Cash Wheeler spike him right down into the hardest part of the ring, which is the ring apron of the pile driver. That's where we got, but unfortunately for the FTR, this is where Brody King came out of nowhere, hits a double suicide dive or suicida right onto both men, right into the outside. That's where Brody King nearly had him won, like when he grabbed onto Dax Harwood. That's where Isaiah Cassidy was telling Mark Quinn, like, yeah, it's over. Like, we have one person to worry about. It's where it runs and hits this most brutally deafening clothesline from the worst place in the universe. And he nearly got the 3, but Dax Harwood got the left shoulder up barely at 2.999. I'm like, how is that possible? This is where once he tried to go for another clothesline, but this time it was the discus lariat, nothing similar to the other one. But still, Dax Harwood did it again. Like, somebody better call Britney Spears, because Dax Harwood was listening to her song. Oops, he did it again. This is where then we got Brody King then try to go for, I'll say, pick him up and stumble him back. This is where he tried to put him into a sleeper hold. This is where that ended up being the one way to get him to surrender this match, and that would help the House of Black get the victory and earn himself the 3rd spot into the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. But this is where they shook hands with FTR. Like, it shows some respect. Like, they confirmed that if they haven't confirmed that they're baby faces before, well, now they did. Like, showed some good sportsmanship, and I totally appreciate that. Even though, like, we'd expect some more drama rather than more friendly gestures from competitors that just fought each other at a main event match, like, would do so to one another. But yeah, like, at the end of the day, they were trying to get a shot at the AEW Tag Team Championships. Who could blame them for showing their out of character professional act to one another and respecting them by how great they did out into that squared circle. But yeah, that was the end of tonight's AEW Dynamite, and I'll give tonight's Dynamite maybe 4.5 stars. Like, why the flub not? But yeah, I would give it perfect 5. But I think there was a couple of I'd say a couple of stuff that was in the bad side. But I'm not gonna be the negative Nancy and gonna be dwelling on it. So I'm just gonna say, other than that, AEW did a very phenomenal job, like, building things up for AEW Full Gear, most specifically with the likes of Swerve Strickland and Bobby Lashley and Mercedes Moné and Chris Statlander, and also MJF against Roderick Strong. Unfortunately, Adam Cole's not going to be in this match. Maybe it's for the better that he doesn't be involved in the match and wait until, like, the next pay-per-view, which I assume is going to be World's End live in Orlando, Florida, which will probably be the best place where they should have this match, because the Homeless Man and the Hurricane will be out there to watch it live in attendance. And I'm not sure where he's going to be spotted at, but he's going to be probably in the far back of any side of the arena in Orlando. But I'm just going to be warning the Homeless Man to, like, watch out for whales out there, because y'all, after all, they are in the Atlantic Ocean, but at the same time, like, there's still whales in AEW, like, because, like, one's working backstage behind the scenes in Gorilla with Anthony Khan. Hopefully he doesn't chase after me, or even the Homeless Man and the Hurricane. But yeah, let me know in the comments below if that's the reason why Adam Cole took the L, like, against Konosuke Takeshita. And I say that's one of the things I find bad, but at the same time, like, I understand what's the story here, and I see why now, like, they're doing this, because it's probably for that particular reason. But yeah, But yeah, and the other thing that's bad, yeah, it's probably immature. I'm gonna say, like with Renee Paquette's unprofessionalism and John Moxley's delusionalness, like thinking that Tony Schiavone's still the owner of AEW, and also the claiming that he's going to beat Orange Cassidy in the juicy bloody pulp. But actually, Orange Cassidy's probably going to be offering him some juice, which I'm not sure it's going to be successfully going to be executed by the freshly squeezed orange. But it's going to be worth a shot, like at AEW Full Gear in Newark, New Jersey. And let's see. And let's see what other match that's been announced. Oh yeah, Will Ospreay versus what's his name? Konosuke. Not Kono. Not talking about. It's gonna be not Kono. I mean, it's gonna be Orange. I mean, it's gonna be Will Ospreay against Kyle Fletcher, and there's another match that was that was announced for AEW Full Gear. I'm trying to remember, but in particular, I totally forgot, but yeah, I know one match has been announced for AEW. AEW, yeah, Full Gear, and also we got everything ready for the tag division, all but one. That's gonna be the Saturday though, and then not only they got things scheduled for AEW Full Gear, they also have things scheduled for AEW Collision this Saturday. That's gonna be pre-taped tomorrow, and make sure you get your tickets in Albany, New York, if you're in the area on AEW.tix.com. And we're gonna be seeing the likes of who's gonna be fighting. It's I'm trying to remember, like Mina Shirakawa and Harley Cameron and who else that's gonna be fighting in the match. I'm trying to think of a couple of names. Oh yeah, the obviously the Acclaim and the Ella Faction incorporate with Roosh and Jalistico, yeah, or Beast Mortos. Whoever's going to be teaming with Roosh, they're going to be taking on Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, or should I say Platinum after Platinum Max Caster, I should call him. But who do you think they'll win that match? Let me know in the comment section right down below. Let's hope we don't see no inappropriate antics from both Mina and Harley in their match. And I hope they get to the point and then they wrestle in the match. And then we see Mina Shirakawa calls out Mariah May, something that we actually want to see, like is a match between these two, like two girls that used to have been good friends and like sisters. And also, yeah, they also been the what's it called, the Stardom Tag Team Champions in their time in the All Women's Japan's promotion. But yeah, let me know all about that in the comments. Like, and for those that's gonna be watching it live in attendance in Albany, New York, and the assassinators that's out in up in the state of New York, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments down below what was your experience like watching AEW Collision live when I make the review of it this Saturday. But yeah, for now, I want to thank you guys for watching to the very end. And I thought AEW did a super terrific job. It had me fully invested into it. As you can see me talking about with my enthusiasm by reviewing the show. And yeah, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully, I didn't sound too biased more than Simon Miller, which that's not a shot. Like I'm just saying, like saying, like not. Hopefully, I'm not being like too comedic. Like while I'm with the commentating on what just happened on tonight's AEW Wednesday night show. And if you like this video, please make sure to hit the big thumbs up button and show your support, and also hit the subscribe and the post notification bell if you haven't also done that already for more SNA videos. And make sure to check out my football news, which I'm going to be talking about the wildest and intriguing football news stories and transfers that you assassinators need to know from, I'll say, the Bleacher Report article, yeah, from the Bleacher Report article. So make sure to watch that. And I hope I entertain you guys tonight. And let me know in the comments if you agreed with anything what I just said on my opinions about Renee Paquette and John Moxley. Do you think they're crazy as hell, along with Chris Statlander and Konosuke Takeshita and the Don Callis family? Let me know down in the comments below, along with it as well. And do you wish that they get their just desserts at Full Gear? I sure hope that is going to be the case. Like with the likes of Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay and Mercedes Moné and the others give them exactly that, like give them what's coming to them, like on November 23rd. That's the day? Yeah, November 23rd, 2024. And yeah, and again, I guess that stay tuned for that. And again, like that's it for tonight, Assassinators, and I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I hope y'all having a fun Wednesday night, and I'll see you all in the next video with some more SNA content. Until we meet again, Super Ninja Austin out of here. Sorry about my stuffy voice, and I'm make sure I'm gonna make sure that I fix this issue like soon. And I hope that's soon enough. I in the next video that I will be back with a clear voice and I can talk to you like I normally do to you assassinators. But for now, I wish you all the best, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye bye, assassinators, and y'all take care of yourself and stay ostinated, if that's even a word. But bye bye.